It's a good question. Oh shit. All right, let me know if you got audio. We're almost about ready to go. So let me know if you guys get audio, and we should be able to get the show going momentarily. So anybody who got audio, let me know. Why is it saying zero? The hell's going on there? We'll see what happens. That's weird. Okay, so let me know if you guys got audio because I'm getting zero, and we don't ever have that happen. So something's going on. YouTube has been acting funky today, so we'll see. Why is that going back and forth like that? While that's doing that, we'll fire the other one up and see what happens. Get the show going on the road, see what happens. Oh boy, I don't know what's going on with my YouTube, but we'll either fix it or have to stop the program temporarily. So let me make sure I'm on Wi-Fi and not on Bluetooth, which I exactly am on the wrong things. Okay, good evening. Good evening once again. It is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Having some trouble with my equipment, so we'll see what happens, particularly with YouTube. So we'll give it a shot and see what happens. But it looks like Karmelo Anthony is getting a new judge. Now, that's not necessarily what we were going to talk about, but that news has come in. So I do want to, we will run that by you. I'm trying to see if I can figure out how to, there we go. All right. So we're going to talk about that and a few other things I do want to run by you. And I'm doing kind of a, what do you want to call it, a abbreviated live today because I got some shit going on. So this is going to be somewhat of a quicker live than what I normally do for the 3 to 4 hours we normally do. But we're going to try to make it work. Let me know if you guys got audio. Motley 5927. I see the piece. So let me know if you got audio. So we'll get into the program real quick in regards to this whole notion that Karmelo, and like I said, we were not going to talk about Karmelo Anthony, but it is something now that I want to run by you because apparently he's getting a new judge. But before we get into that, I do want to thank you, Motley, for the audio check. I do also want to talk to you folks about a couple other issues that are, hovering in the news. Look, I made a video about this earlier today. President Trump would mail in ballots. You know, President Trump, the right or no fan of mail in votes. They have their reasoning. The belief is that mail in voting is not as secure, that people can cheat and commit acts of fraud and all that through the mail. You know my opinion on it. We talk about it all the time. If I see evidence, if I see proof, you got me on your side. If it's based solely on allegations, you probably do not have me on your side. And right now, as we speak, I don't think the Trump administration has provided ample proof that folks are cheating via the mail. Nevertheless, this clip here I thought was worthy of bringing to you. This is former Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger of Illinois. Now, he's an Air Force vet. He probably would have rode off into the sunset, having won several terms in Illinois, but he was part of the January 6th, hearings committee or whatever. And of course, anybody that challenged Trump in regards to what happened on January 6th is now on the wrong side of the Republican Party. So he is that one of those people, kind of like Liz Cheney. He's on the same. He's been kicked out with Liz Cheney, but I want you to hear this clip he posted today because I do believe it is worthy of discussion.
So the president who spent all his time saying that vote by mail is rigged and it's wrong and nobody should be able to, he was actually just talking about you because look at this. That's right. Trump himself just voted by mail for the second time this year. It's convenient for him, but it's inconvenient for him when you vote by mail because most people that vote by mail don't vote for him. Crazy.
That's a short clip, but what I want to ask you folks is, if voting by mail, opens up the door for fraud and it's not safe and Trump wants you to go to the polling place, why isn't he doing it? I mean, fact is, President Trump has access to the Beast, his own presidential limo. He has access to Marine One, his own presidential helicopter, and of course, behind me you see Air Force One. He can use any of these vehicles 24 hours a day. Not to mention, he can commandeer the Secret Service to shut down any polling office nationwide to give him time to go in there by himself and cast a ballot. I'm asking a simple question. Should he not lead by example? If you want folks to actually go down and vote and not mail in, why isn't he doing it? Why is he not doing what he is suggesting that everybody else does? Is it what Kinzinger is suggesting, that, it's convenient for him, but everybody else, he wants you to do the inconvenient thing? Everybody else is being told, despite your job, despite what you got going on in your life, you should be able to do your civic duty by going down to the polling place and casting a ballot. And yet he is not doing it. He is voting by mail. You heard him say he's voted by mail twice this year. Why is that? So I do want to hear from you folks. In the comments right off the bat, Greenish says, "You are pathetic. Still pretending to be a maggot." Thank you for your input. I don't know about the pathetic part, but you're entitled to your opinion. We don't block, ban, or censor for adverse opinions. Thank you for commenting. Also, Shy Bear says, to ask a habitual lying criminal fell into the lead by example is about as demented as dementia is. Well, I'm asking, why is he not leading by example if he has issues with mail-in voting? Why is he voting by mail? Does that look or come across as maybe he doesn't think mail-in voting is as problematic as he's saying? Because he is voting by mail. Now, in the comments, Sean Hepson is saying because he is the president. Yeah, he is the president. Are you suggesting that makes him better than you and I? Because all of us got to go to work. All of us have to take off time. They don't give you any, many employers don't give you a lot of provisions to go vote. I mean, President Trump could jump in the Beast, the presidential limo, or hell, in Marine One, the presidential helicopter, fly wherever he wants and tell the Secret Service, when I get there, I want that office to be clear of voters so I can vote alone. Nobody else has that sort of power and privilege. Yet he is choosing to vote by mail. Ain't no problem going to a Knicks game. No problem going to NASCAR and UFC fights. All the logistics required for the president to attend a major sporting event. He's making that happen, but he doesn't go down to vote? How does that work? Why is he not voting by ballot at the polling places when he's telling everybody else to? Somebody help me explain that. And well, in addition to that, I also want to run this one by you, another clip that I thought was interesting. Now, this is mainly aimed at my beloved MAGA in particular. And I see in the comments, Denkel says he travels to Florida 4 times a month. Does he really go there that often? Does President Trump go to Mar-a-Lago 4 times? Like, that's the equivalent of once a week. Is he really going to Mar-a-Lago that much? The cost that's got to be involved, that would have to be explained. Why are you going to Mar-a-Lago? I haven't heard that, but if that's the case, he's going to Mar-a-Lago that often. So that means he's going, 200 plus times a year? Why? Why is he going to Mar-a-Lago that often? I have not heard that. And of course, that is something that we're all paying for in an era where we're attempting to tackle waste, fraud, and abuse. Why is he doing that? I'd have to look into that. I haven't heard that. But now I want to talk to my beloved MAGA in regards to being stereotyped. We're going to talk about the essence of stereotype. This is aimed at MAGA because I know folks do not like being stereotyped. As MAGA, do you get stereotyped? Or better yet, This gentleman I saw online makes an interesting video. This is about a minute long, but I think it's worthy of hearing. I want to know if any of you guys, particularly my beloved MAGA, ever get stereotyped.
I get it. I'm over 50, white, handlebar mustache, small town Oklahoma. Half the time I'm dressed like I'm fixing a tractor carburetor in 87, so people see me and automatically assume, hell yeah, brother, Trump 2028. I swear to fucking God, conservatives see overalls and think I came factory installed with Fox News. And I'm standing here like, sir, I believe healthcare is a human right and billionaires should pay taxes. I fucking hate racists. I stand with the LGBTQ community. Fuck fascism. Fuck authoritarianism. And any grown man demanding loyalty like he's some spray-tanned king can kiss my entire Gen X ass.
Damn.
I'm tired of being stereotyped because apparently if you're an older white dude with facial hair in Oklahoma, people assume you spend your weekend screaming at Bud Light cans and blaming immigrants because your fucking lawnmower won't start. And meanwhile, I'm over here wanting universal health care and wondering if capitalism is just pyramid schemes with neckties. So I think we need some kind of fucking system, some kind of identifier for liberal rednecks, like a secret lapel pin, maybe crossed fishing poles over a pride flag, maybe a secret handshake, like instead of MAGA hats, we quietly whisper, Dolly Parton is a national treasure. And if the other person answers, protect trans kids and tax the rich, boom, you found one of us. I mean, we are out here, camouflaged in flannel, hidden beneath mustaches, and trying to sneak empathy into rural America one confused stereotype at a time.
Do you get that happen if you're MAGA? Do you get stereotyped? I'd be curious to know for MAGA in particular, because I'm going to assume, being an African American or being a minority, we get stereotyped too. I mean, people think we vote Democrat automatically, because most African Americans do vote Democrat. Most minorities do vote Democrat. Most Caucasian men that fit his narrative, wearing overalls, handlebar mustache in rural Oklahoma, they vote a certain way too. And you hear him saying that he doesn't like that stereotype happening to him. So we're going to talk about do you get stereotyped based on your politics, and shit, how does that make you feel that people think you vote one way solely because of how you look? Now, this last video before we get on with the show, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but before I went live, and it's crooked because I basically took this right off the screen, but I do want to run this by you. And in the comments, somebody says 0 straight men voting Democrat. Huh? You think I mean, I get the sarcasm. I assume you believe that every Democrat in the country, the 70+ million people, all voted for Kamala Harris. They all gay, huh? 70-some odd million of them, huh? All of the guys in the military and everything. I guess you just don't see anything in regards to the level of disrespect saying some shit like that. At this point, the person that made that statement, anything said about Trump, you kind of remove any credibility to complain about it at all, saying something like that. Anyway, in the comments, a charlatan president is exactly the type of leader a broken system produces. Yikes. By the way, we're going to play this and go straight to the box, because this is going to be a shorter live today. And certainly tap the screen, help your boy out with the head mustache, TikTok, cap goes, all of that. Arnita says that is straight talk. But not in regards to his politics, is not Arnita. Biden added $8.45 trillion to the national debt. Oh, in 4 years? Based on what? How did Biden add You're saying Biden added $8.45 trillion to the national debt. We didn't go to war under Biden. He didn't really give out any new entitlements of any significance. $8.45 trillion from where? What did he spend it on? In 4 years, you're telling me Biden added 8.4. I'm going to tell you, it's above my pay grade. I'll plead ignorance on it. I'll say you could be right, but I don't see how. What did Biden do? At least Obama, you could tag the universal health care and try to say there's a cost of it. What did Biden come close to doing that would cause that kind of astronomical spending? I mean, did he even give away a bunch of stimulus checks? That happened under Trump. What did Biden do? Yeah, I think you're kind of in fairy tale land suggesting that Biden spent nearly 8.5 trillion in only one term. That's saying a bit much. I think you're really stretching it, because if Biden spent that kind of money, then how much did Trump spend with taking us to war and the tariffs and some of the things he's done? Yeah, I think you're really stretching it. Anyway, looking in the comments, they've been disrespecting Democrats and everyone laughs about it. True. They like that. They like the trolling that Trump does. I had a conversation with one of my MAGA viewers offline, and yeah, he claims that, Trump has a reason to hate the Democrats and a reason to troll and all of that. And I told him, I said, fair enough, but then you can't be complaining about liberal tears and people being snowflakes and having Trump derangement syndrome. If he's fighting, he's fighting. Don't get mad if he's fighting when people hit him back. The former Marty Marr, when you ask who, the former, not the latter. Let me go to the bots. We'll start it out with the one and only Doomsday Minute. Good evening, Doomsday. Good to have you on the program. Straight talk.
What's up there, Tim?
Not much at all.
Just so you know, during his 4-year term, Joe Biden oversaw a total federal spend of $26 trillion.
On what?
$26 trillion. According to roll call, his total federal spend was $26 trillion. So, he spent $8.45 trillion. Let's see here. $8.45 trillion during his term. It rose from $27.75 trillion to over $36 trillion during his, and that's according to U.S. debt clock.
Okay, so wait. So how much debt were we at before Biden took office?
Yeah, I just said 27 trillion to over 36 trillion.
Okay, so he took us from 27 to 36.
From 27 to 36.
That's 9 trillion, not 26.
8.45 trillion.
Okay, and that's what
spent. Well, hold on. It's important to know this. Okay.
Sure.
Federal budget is a certain amount. Whatever the federal budget, whatever they say that the budget is. Okay. Mm-hmm. Joe Biden oversaw a total federal spending. The amount of money that he spent during that 4-year period, federal spending, was $26 trillion. According to roll call. Those are not my numbers.
You're giving me conflicting numbers. First you said...
No. One is what is the total federal spend. That's $26 trillion. I'm not making these numbers up.
Is that all him, the whole 26 trillion? It was a zero.
Yeah, that was during the 4-year time of the federal government. That's how much the federal government spent during his 4 years.
How much has happened under Trump so far?
Hold on 1 second. I will tell you. Very simple. During the first 2 years, 8.8 trillion in gross new national borrowing, 8.4 trillion in the new 10-year borrowing. So far, that's 27 to 21. That's 2017 to 21. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. It didn't do it the same way for Trump.
Yeah, because the Trump administration is probably controlling the numbers at this point, so we won't know until he's gone. Because you get these numbers, the numbers Trump is releasing, because I just watched the video.
Well, they probably haven't gotten all the numbers yet. We're still in a situation with Iran. They probably don't. It's only 2 years in.
Right. Well, not only have they not gotten all the numbers, what I'm saying is some of the numbers that Trump's administration are releasing are inaccurate, like Doge. How much money did we save with Doge? That is wildly inaccurate what they have released. It's been proven that what they said they were saving, they said they saved over $1 trillion with Doge. They've proved that it ain't even 10% of that.
Who's proven that? Who's proven that? Listen, it depends on who you listen to.
Do you believe it?
And Yeah, 100%. You can spin numbers all day long.
Okay. So why are we talking numbers then?
Just in the amount that we are not spending on USAID, Department of Education, all of the things that he has cut. Yeah, I totally believe that we're saving money in those areas. We're also spending money.
Yeah.
It just depends on what your priorities are.
I would also suggest that in some cases you can cut a program and end up spending money in another way. Let's say, for instance,
100%.
you
100% true.
Yeah, you take a bunch of kids out of school and all of a sudden they grow up to be criminals, and you're paying for something because they're not educated and they're not productive. I mean, so you save money on this end, you're going to pay.
Department of Education, it lowers your education in the country to the point where you're 38th, 39th in the world in education. You've wasted trillions of dollars trying to solve a problem that you just threw money at. We can't do that. Now, one thing we did do that
like the reflective pool, trying to solve a problem that we're just throwing money at.
Well, no, now it's fixed.
Is it?
I mean, you can spend or you can not spend money and let the Kennedy Center fall in on itself. You can not spend money and watch every single one of your fountains and monuments decay. The front of the White House, the facade of the White House, huge chunks of the White House falling out.
Was it really in that bad a shape? I haven't heard that.
It was in terrible shape.
Yeah, I haven't heard that.
It was in terrible shape.
I don't think it was so bad you needed to build a ballroom.
Helipad. You can spend money on a helipad. Stop fucking up your yard in front of
what straight talk? Out of all the things that need to be repaired and fixed in this country, why start at your own digs? Like you're a billionaire. Look.
Well, because that's where you. Look. I know you don't care about your front yard.
Help me out. Talk to me.
You have all kinds of jacked up cars out front. Look, man. When I have friends over, I want my house to look the best. If a world leader is coming here, they're not going to Toledo, Ohio, and driving over a bridge, dude. They're going to the White House. I want Washington to look spick and span. I do not want it to look like, downtown Detroit. How about that?
Yeah, to me, so you just want to have nice shit so that you can host people. But meanwhile, the people in your country that are struggling,
economy, no. Let me tell you something. If you're struggling in this economy, you are fucked up. You are.
Explain
I don't know what to do for you.
Really?
I'm telling it right now.
So you think the economy's roaring ahead right now?
100% it is. 100%. There are 7,000. Dude, you have, even on TikTok, do you know what the number one? TikTok makes as much as Target, Walmart, Home Depot. This is one of the apps that is absolutely smashing it right now.
So when you look at Trump's poll numbers on the economy, which are in the tank, you're saying all the American citizens are getting that wrong. Trump is right. The economy is doing awesome.
No, I think what you have is a concerted effort by people who are not in power anymore and would like to be in power again. The only way you're going to get in power, the only way your people that you vote for are going to get back in power is if they talk shit about the guy that's in power.
I do believe that. I do believe that's part of it. I mean, obviously it worked for Trump. He talked a lot of shit about the guy that was in power as well, but
that's how you do it.
But I actually think
it's saying, "Hey, you guys are doing all the greatest things. The economy is great." Listen, people were not even applying for jobs during Joe Biden. There were no jobs. They knew there were no jobs. Y'all didn't say a peep because you
guys were. You guys were under Biden. Hold on. You guys were bitching. You guys were bitching about the economy. You were bitching about gas price.
Because it was
now that the grocery prices let me get in here. Now that the gas prices and grocery prices haven't come down, you guys have found ways to spin it to being a positive.
No, there are jobs for people. There are jobs. And by the way, don't cry to me about gas prices. I live in California, dude. My gas prices don't come down when y'all get low gas prices. I live under a Democratic governor who has never lowered a price in the entire history of him being in office.
Let me ask you.
I'm trying to lower prices for nobody.
Let me ask you a question.
About that.
Let me ask you a question that is kind of off topic, but it's coming from another MAGA viewer in the comments. Gen X says colored folks don't give a fuck about their shit, how their shit looks. And this is in regards to our Washington, decorating Washington.
That's not true.
Hold on. He says colored folks don't give a fuck about what their shit looks like. That's why no one wants them around. What say you? That's coming from MAGA.
Bullshit. No, it's not. It's coming from a racist asshole. Why in the world would you say something like that? That is absolutely ridiculous.
I'm just telling you what I'm reading the comments. That's all I'm doing is reading the comments.
He obviously didn't come from my neighborhood. I lived around. You ever heard of a redneck? You ever heard of a peckerwood? You know what those are?
Yeah.
You know what?
They're slurs.
Yeah. There are people in every single race. Go to China. Matter of fact, did you hear about China last night? They lost $3 trillion in the stock market last night. They are hurting, dude. They are. It is fucking amazing how right I am all the time.
Some of the stuff you're talking about, like with the money that China lost in the stock market. I remember when the Democrats were celebrating Elon Musk losing a bunch of money in a single day. It ended up not meaning anything. Just like how
No. Well, they have no gas. They have no access to fuel. Their factories shut down. They are not shutting down.
I guarantee China will be okay. That's the point I'm making. They're going to be okay.
You writing them alone? They probably.
I guarantee you. I'm just telling you, China will be okay. I'm just simply telling you that. Just like how you're telling me, Trump's economy is roaring ahead. You sound just like the Democrats during Biden's term, trying to convince people. It doesn't matter. Biden said he could prove it too. You sound just like the Democrats. You sound just like the Democrats. What people see is their reality. They don't give a fuck what you prove. If they go and they can't afford shit, what you're proving is irrelevant.
Listen to me. Here's the difference. I'm not telling you that the economy is good for you. You may be dumber than a hoe handle. You may not know how to take advantage of this economy. You may be uneducated. You may not give a flying fuck. You may be waiting for the government to do something for you. This economy is not going to be good for you.
Okay.
But for those people out there who are educated, who know what they are doing, who are putting forth the effort, this economy is absolutely.
That's in any economy. Straight talk. I don't care. During the depression, people were making money. You're basically that applies anywhere. But what I'm saying is the average American is not looking at the economy and coming out of it with what you're saying. They're not seeing that.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is true.
Listen to me. We made more millionaires in 2024 and 2025 than in any point in our history. So how did we do that? And I'm not talking about the world didn't. The United
Ramos, cut out the spam. And I don't like the black man or censor, but Ramos, you said make America slave again enough. I'm trying to prevent from blocking you, but let off the spam. Go ahead, straight talk.
I got the same problem, dude. Yeah, no, it's all right. I got the same problem, dude. I got the same problem. Problem on both sides. People are frustrated because they don't know what they're doing. They got indoctrinated and not educated in college. They cannot find a job because they have no useful skills. None of that is the government's fault, and it never will be. What it is the individual's fault. If you are not educated and you have no skills, there is no president that is going to save you. You got to do this shit on your own.
He wasn't saying that when Biden was president. He was promising to do shit.
He was blocking smart, educated people.
He promised to lower energy prices by January of this year. He didn't do that. He put a date on it. He said your rent would be cut in half. He said he was going to do that.
The moment that we have wrapped up everything we need to in Iran, you see the energy prices fall like a stone.
Nobody's
He owns 50% of the oil in Venezuela.
That's not going to work. You promised to do something by a certain day. You promised to do something by a certain day. That day comes and you're talking about, well, we got to do something else first now. You promised to do this. People voted for you based on that, not to be told on that day you got to wait again.
I did not vote for Donald Trump to lower my gas prices. That is not what I voted for.
A lot of people did.
He's doing every single thing I asked him to do.
No, he's not.
Don't tell me what I asked the president
to
do.
What you asked him to do.
We are deporting, yes.
He's doing what you asked him to do.
He told me that he was going to do, Tim.
Okay.
We are deporting people right and left. We have the H-1B visa situation in hand, finally. Look, man. This country is well on its way to healing, and Democrats won't win another election for 30 years.
On his way to healing? Healing how?
Yes, you guys won't be in office for 30 years, dude. I'm telling you.
You got to be, you got some serious wishful thinking because you're not going to do it with just a right-wing white vote, straight talk. You're not going to have a Hispanic vote for the rest of my fucking life.
Yeah, but they're going to be gone. All of these districts have been rewritten, Tim. You guys couldn't get someone elected. Watch what happens.
So in other words, you didn't win. You cheated by changing the district so we can't win, is what you're saying.
No, we started only allowing citizens to make the decision.
Oh my
That's
God.
what we did.
Okay.
We started by saying, hey, if we're and by the way, the president of the United States, you talk about him voting by mail.
Yes.
A vote by mail is open to every American citizen.
But he's telling you don't do it. He's saying it's not safe. He said it's not safe and don't do it.
Yeah, it's not the problem. Now that we've cleaned the rolls, the voter rolls, and we're not allowing dead people, and we're not allowing people who are not members of this country, non-citizens to vote, now you can vote by mail again.
I never heard him say that.
Well, you also didn't. I didn't hear him say he was going to vote by mail. And by the way, he's in Mar-a-Lago every weekend. Every weekend he's in Mar-a-Lago.
Why? Why is that?
Because he's the president 24 hours a day, 7 days
what
a
does that
week.
got to do with what does him being in Mar-a-Lago got to do with him being the president?
No, what I'm saying is he's the president no matter where he is.
So
he can go to Mar-a-Lago, he could go to Cincinnati, he could
So
go
we
to
would have been
Seattle.
okay
He's
with
still the president.
We would have been okay with Obama going to Hawaii once a week.
I wish he had. I wish he would have stopped fucking with the economy. I wish he would have stopped fucking with people.
What does that got to do with him? No, he, as you say, he's still the president no matter where he's at. If he went to Hawaii every week, you wouldn't have said shit about that.
I didn't say it should. What he did. Yeah. I'm more interested in his policies.
What are Trump's policies? What are Trump's policies?
I did not refuse to vote for Barack Obama because he lived in Hawaii or because he wanted to go to Hawaii. That was not on my list. There were many reasons that I did not want to vote for Barack Obama. His color had absolutely nothing to do with it. His place of residence had nothing to do with it. I don't like the idea that he wanted to remake healthcare in this country and make me pay for other people's doctor visits.
Now you do believe healthcare should be optional, right? Healthcare
should be optional, and it should never be an option to have me pay for someone else's healthcare.
So if an American
pay for my bad decision.
So if an American cannot afford healthcare, you believe that they should just be left like that?
Yes.
And you wonder why people crying out for socialism.
What business is it of mine? Hold on. What business is it of mine? I went for 20 years without paying for health care. 20 years of my life.
Do you believe that about food? I'm curious because you're talking about you don't want to be forced to take care of somebody's health. Do you believe that about food too? If a person can't afford to feed themselves, do you believe they should be left on their own?
You tell me.
Answer that question. I'll tell you whatever, but answer that question.
I'm going to answer the question. How many times have you gone into a restaurant and paid for the people next to you their meal, paid their bill? How many times have you done that?
If they have, I've paid for people to eat, but you're not answering the question, though.
No, I'm telling you.
You're asking questions. You're not answering. You're asking questions.
No. I don't want to pay for your food.
So if a person, if another American could not afford to buy food, do you believe they should be left that way? You can answer yes or no.
Yeah, what I'm saying to you is I don't think our government should be paying for it. No.
So if a person cannot afford to eat.
If someone comes to me personally and says, hey, I'm hungry, can you buy me something to eat? I will feed them. But if they say to me, would you set up a program in the government where I get something to eat every day? Fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
So you don't believe, so you do not believe the government should help folks if they don't have food?
Over 18 and
you're trying your best to not answer that question. This is a simple yes or no question. You're trying your best not to say the answer.
The answer to your question is if they are a child, yes, I'll feed them. If they are elderly, yes, I will feed them. If they are under 65 and if they are over 18, they can fuck themselves. They can find a way to eat themselves. Wow. How's that for an answer?
That's all you have to say. And like I said, your answers, anytime you ever find yourself wondering why the hell would Americans want socialism, just play back your own answers. What you just said is the reason why they're calling for this shit.
And they can fuck themselves.
Well, they can fuck themselves, but they're going to fuck you in the polls.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, the majority of people feel the way that I do.
No, they don't.
They do.
No, they don't. If they did, Mom Donnie would not have won, and these Democrat socialists would not be winning.
That's not a majority of Americans.
But it's growing. But it is growing, though.
One election. Listen, he won one election in a very small area.
He ain't the only one. He's not the only one.
He is in the.
Let me ask it to you this way: do you
finish what I am saying?
Well, hold on. Do you see the Democrat socialist movement as expanding or shrinking?
Shrinking.
Okay. What were you about to say?
Very shortly.
What were you about to say?
It will be non-existent very shortly. Even the Democrats, the normal everyday Democrats, are kicking them the fuck out.
And I don't agree with that at all.
Okay, we're gonna see in November.
It's interesting you say the Democrats are kicking them out, yet you guys are going around calling every Democrat in existence a socialist. But now you're saying they're kicking them out.
Yeah, most of the Democrats are saying we're not socialists.
But you're calling them socialists anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Socialist.
You guys are calling every fucking Democrat running for office a socialist. Your side is calling every Democrat running for office. Even what is his name? Abdul El Said in Michigan. The guy has made it clear he is capitalist. You guys are calling him a socialist too.
No. Listen to what he wants. He can deny being a socialist.
Thank you, Shirt 14. Somebody show your boy some love. Help your boy with the hat mustache, TikTok cap goes. I'm in the trenches. Help your boy out with the goals. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you want prisons? You want prisons abolished in the United States?
For profit? Yes. I don't think any. Hold on. Let me answer that in detail. I don't think any goddamn American that's worth his blood in his body should profit from incarceration. To me, that shit is evil. No, profit from incarceration? Yeah. Why?
Why would the state profit from it? Why would you allow the state to profit from it and not individual companies?
I don't think anyone, even including the state, should profit from incarceration.
You ever been to Texas?
I gave you my answer.
Texas profits the fuck out of prison.
And I gave you my answer.
Why in the world? Hold on. You know that you've got to incarcerate people. Why in the fuck would you not make money from it? You have to incarcerate.
What's the difference between that and slavery at that point?
Well, slaves didn't volunteer. You commit a crime, you need to be incarcerated. You volunteered to go to prison.
No, you didn't. Because if I can make if I can make money off of incarceration, I'm going to pass laws that make it more likely people are going to get incarcerated. So if you do go and slip up, the punishment's going to be longer. You're not going to get out as easy. Probation's going to be longer.
Listen, you cannot get rid of prisons or police forces.
I don't think nobody should profit from it. I don't. You and I just disagree on that. You're promoting profit.
But even then, okay, let's say that we make all prisons nonprofit. No prison is profitable prison. You still have prisons or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tomorrow we get rid of all for-profit prisons. You're not going to close down a prison institution.
No, I believe bad people should be in jail. I just don't think anybody should profit.
He
from
doesn't.
It.
He doesn't. And that's my point.
I haven't heard him. So you're saying nobody should be punished?
The DSA believes that all police forces disbanded, all prisons disbanded. What are we going to do with all the criminals?
Well,
you're going to be victimized every day.
Oh my God. Listen, I understand the extreme shit like Gen X in the comments saying that women shouldn't vote on the right. I mean, there's some extremes. I don't agree with getting rid of prison. I don't agree with everything the DSA says, just like you're MAGA and you don't agree with what Gen X is saying.
AOC says it. Ilhan Omar says it. I mean, all these DSA motherfuckers, that's all they talk about. And everybody in your parties, yeah.
No,
that's
everybody's
right.
everybody in the party is not saying it, which is why I just told you, even though people are not socialists, you guys are going around labeling every Democrat as part of the DSA. And that's not true.
Most of you want socialist programs. Most of you do. Now, look, is everybody a socialist? I already said no. I already said many Democrats, many of them, y'all are broke like a joke. The one that won.
Broke in what manner? Broke? What do you mean by broke?
The DNC had to hawk its headquarters for $16 million.
Kamala Harris had plenty of money when she ran for president.
She spent it all.
Okay,
she drank
but
it
she
all.
had plenty of money. I mean,
Yes,
well,
she spent
okay,
over $1
maybe
billion.
she likes to drink, spend her money on drinking instead of fucking kids with Epstein. Maybe she has a different vice.
Are you accusing?
I said what I said. I said what I fucking said.
God. How are you still on this platform?
If you're gonna tell me Kamala Harris is a hold on. If you're gonna tell me Kamala Harris is a drunk but try to deny Trump is a fucking pedo, based on there's way more evidence that Trump is a pedo than Kamala Harris is an alcoholic.
No,
way more evidence.
Hammered on camera. We have her hammered on camera.
We damn near got him hammering juveniles on camera too, goddamn it.
Please show me your evidence. You got no evidence for that.
Show me some evidence of her. I think you confusing Kamala Harris with Pete Hegseth. Whiskey Pete is what you must have thought you saw.
I never saw him, but
I'm sure you did.
You know me. I'm going to be sending you some Kamala Harris video now.
Okay, so I would get arrested if I see you the shit of Trump.
This doesn't exist. You would have had to make it up.
No, I had to make up shit.
It doesn't exist.
No, your boy's a pedo. Here's the shirt that tells you your boy's a pedo. That's what your boy is. That's what your boy is putting out there.
Everything is fine.
That's your boy. That's what your boy is doing.
Yeah.
Your boy don't been inside some juveniles. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I would love to see your evidence for that.
I can't. It's illegal to show you that. It's illegal to show you that.
No.
Yes.
All you have to do. No, it's not. You show it to a prosecutor. That prosecutor's got to take him to court. You guys have none of that.
You show some shit to a prosecutor on Trump. The DOJ will be threatening the prosecutor by tomorrow. That person would be hanging out with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Doesn't have it either.
That person would be hanging out with Marjorie Taylor Greene getting death threats.
Right.
It's as simple as that. Every person on the right that tried to get to the bottom of the Epstein list is no longer viewed as being part of the right. You guys got rid of folks for that shit.
That's not true.
Go ask Marjorie Taylor Greene about that.
She was a cuckoo bird.
Yeah, right. She was only cool.
I love the way
she was totally normal.
Absolutely out of her goddamn mind.
Right. She was totally normal until she tried to get to the bottom of it, and then all of a sudden she's a cuckoo. But before, just like Liz Cheney was totally normal on January 5th.
Never.
The minute she tried to get to the bottom of January 6th, she's suddenly a cuckoo now. We get it.
No. And you guys love them the moment that they agree with you.
I mean, there's some of that.
They switch sides and agree with you.
Right, like you got
intelligent.
No shit, like you got Fetterman all over your fucking networks and shit. The same thing is happening. Joe Manchin all over right-wing networks.
After a stroke.
Tulsi Gabbard. You guys, Tulsi Gabbard did it. You put them on the administration. Same thing with Kennedy. Them were Democrats. So you do the same shit.
Tulsi's taking care of her husband.
Yeah, right. She got away from your nuclear bullshit trying to lie about Iran. She realized she didn't want to fuck her legacy up.
She released a statement today.
And?
She's coming back. What I'm saying is she's taking care of a very sick husband right now.
Well, she made it clear before she wasn't too sick to say Iran wasn't developing nukes. She was well enough to say that. To make sure she...
Yeah, but we know that wasn't true. Bullshit. She can be wrong about things. We know that's not true.
She didn't want to go down in history like Colin Powell. She didn't want to be played over and over again, saying some shit that historically is going to be proven untrue.
Again, we know that's not true.
No, we don't.
Know that's not true. Yes, we do. Iran themselves said it wasn't true. But you won't believe them either.
We trust Iran now?
Listen, when they tell you that their economy is in the shitter, when they tell you that they have we won't release any money, their people are starving, yes, I believe every word of that.
Okay.
They're holier than Swiss cheese over there. Right. They're defeated. They're done.
You know something, to be honest with you, I think I kind of agree with you. Iran is more honest than the Trump administration. I do believe them more than Trump.
Well, Trump's been telling you that for months, and you just didn't want to believe it. Now they're honest.
Trump has been telling us he is less honest than Iran for months.
Trump has been telling you that he's defeated Iran for months, and you didn't want to believe him. Yeah, you guys wanted to cheer for Iran.
I don't think anybody believes him. Even the ships in the Strait of Hormuz don't believe him. Nobody believes him.
The Strait of Hormuz. We can name every single ship that's gone through the Strait of Hormuz, and you give him another 9 months, and there will be a pipeline, and that strait will be a swimming hole. It will not matter at all to anyone.
The war that was over in 2 to 4 weeks. You need an additional 9 fucking months. What are you doing? Giving birth to bullshit?
He said that thinking we had allies. We didn't have allies.
Yeah. I don't know why you thought you're going to come to power saying NATO ain't shit. We got to tariff everybody. You thought you had allies after telling everybody they ain't shit. You still thought they were all allies, huh?
Again, we never had allies.
Your boy is delusional.
They were never our allies.
Okay then. So why did you think you had allies when you decided to bomb Iran? Why did you change your tune?
That's what they were saying. They were cashing the checks, weren't they?
No.
Every check you sent them trying to be friends. You sent them the checks. They cashed the checks.
Trump came to power making it clear whatever previous presidents were doing for you, I'm going to cancel it because ain't none of you guys shit. So then he gets in the war and like, why won't none of y'all help me? You ain't said nothing but negative shit about all of these people since you came to power.
Not us.
What?
They're the ones getting bombed, not us.
Okay. I don't think France or
They're the ones that suffer through the terrorism. Okay. United States.
Well, unfortunately, you know what I got to do. I always enjoy talking to you about this bullshit. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But for time, I got to move it on, Straight Talk.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And listen, anytime you want to continue this, come on over and see me.
I got you.
It's good to see you, dude.
All right. You too. Talk to you. Tap the screen. I didn't get any likes at all during that conversation. It must have sucked. No hat, mustache, no TikTok, no shit, nothing. None. So we're here back with the actual lie. Finally, that nonsense is over, says Bryce. Listen, folks have a difference of opinion. Straight Talk obviously leans very far right compared to me. And, you know, that's what his opinion says. We do tackle it. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. What I was about to play, I didn't play this for him because we were going back and forth, but I just want to cue this one up.
That under my leadership, the United States will commit to the ambitious goal of slashing energy and electricity prices by half, at least half.
Listen to this.
We intend to slash prices by half within 12 months, at a maximum 18 months. And if it doesn't work out, you'll say, oh, well, I voted for him. By contrast,
that's exactly what happened too. He didn't slash energy prices in half, but in 12 or 18 months. And as my last guess, you could clearly hear it. Well, I voted for him. That's exactly. He kind of called that accurate. He failed, and he indicated that even if I don't succeed, my people gonna run with me, and no matter what, they're gonna stand by me no matter what. So he did predict that because he didn't slash anything in half. In fact, he didn't even cut them. Energy prices haven't even went down. They've went up under his term. So he really failed at that. Now, my last guest is indicating that the economy is doing very well. And what I was trying to tell him is he sounds a whole lot like a lot of Democrats during Joe Biden's term, trying to convince people that the economy was doing well using the stock market and a host of other factors that most Americans do not use as a gauge of how they're doing. I mean, listen, the stock market may be roaring back, but if you don't have stock, that doesn't do shit for you. People are looking at grocery prices, their salary, how much money they got left over once they pay their bills. That is how folks are judging the economy, not based on stock that they have none of or the price of gold or some of this other stuff. And that's kind of the go-to switcheroo for when politicians want to claim we have a good economy, is they start citing stuff that does not affect the average American. Under Trump, the poll numbers suggest that the Republicans are not happy with his economy, and obviously the Democrats and independents think it's a piece of shit. So looking in, and this is going to be a more of an abbreviated line because I do got something to do, but I'll go straight to the box. Tap the screen. Well, at least gas was over $360 when Biden was. You mean 360? Gas is like in the fours now. Gas prices are in the fours now. Right now, the current price of fuel is like, because the price of fuel under Biden was not steady at any point. Just like under Trump, it's a roller coaster. There are some really bad times under a president, and then there's some low times. Right now, the price of fuel is like equivalent to the worst parts of the Biden administration. There were plenty parts of the Biden administration where the price of fuel was less than it is now. This is comparing it to the worst of the Biden administration. This is bad. There's no other way to look at it. Let me go to the box, tap the screen, get the likes on up, if you will, and we'll go to Special Pete. Good evening, Special Pete. Trump must be stopped, says All-Star. November, vote. That's what you need to do. Vote in November. Spiritual Pete, good evening.
What did you call me?
Does it say spiritual? What does that say in the bottom there? Spectral?
All right, well,
Spectral.
yeah.
Spectral.
Okay. All right.
What brings you on? Okay, got his name wrong, he dropped. Fair enough, we'll move on. I've never seen that before, but shit happens differently all the time. We'll go to DJ Fletcher. If that brings them up. We always try to bring up some of the newer callers when we get them. Understand, folks, the program, despite the fact that we do criticize politicians when things are not going well, we are MAGA friendly. MAGA friendly means that we certainly give play to anybody on the right or left, despite your political opinion. We don't censor or limit you. MAGA friendly doesn't mean we're always kissing Trump's ass or defending him. It means we are friendly to MAGA in their conversation as well. So folks, hopefully folks understand that. When Biden was in office, we were very critical of Biden's economy too. Going back to the box, we'll go to Chico without DeBarge. Good evening, Chico. Welcome to the program.
Hey, Jim, how's it going?
It's going good. So what brings you on this evening?
Man, that last caller, that guy is just out to lunch. Can you imagine being that dedicated to such obviously a failing economy and another Mideast boondoggle nobody wants, and just flip-flopping and continually trying to make a positive out of it? It's just mind-boggling what these people will do and say.
No, I personally cannot, because I had more MAGA viewers during Biden's term, and I voted for Biden. I had a lot more MAGA on the program because I was very critical of Biden. I don't believe that just because you voted for a politician, you should defend them no matter what. So, no, I cannot imagine being like that.
You know, Tim, sometimes I'll go and I'll debate these guys, and, you know, when they're talking about ending this war and they want to make a deal with the IRGC, obviously it's the same fucking people, right? Except maybe these younger people are even more mad because they killed their leaders. They've been chanting death to America forever. I mean, so to sit there and say that, oh, we're going to resolve this and we're going to deal with these new younger people, when you haven't solved anything. All we've done is spent $1 trillion with no plan to do anything.
Yeah.
And there's no one there to negotiate if it's going to be with the same exact IRGC. It's ludicrous.
Yeah, I don't get it. And Handsome Conservative, I did not see that, but thank you very much, Handsome Conservative, for your support. No, I don't understand. Just I'm going to blindly support him no matter what. Listen, despite my political leanings, if Trump is succeeding, I will give him credit for succeeding. But when it comes to the economy, the Iran war, what you're talking about, things like that, he's not succeeding. The only way to make it look good at all is to either spin it or use the two words have faith. Have faith that eventually things will turn out right. But right now, it's not going good. And I'm amazed at how many MAGA still continues to portray it somehow as if this was the plan all along. You know, he's playing chess. The dude said it was going to be over in 2 to 4 weeks. He ain't fucking playing chess. He's not. This is going in a direction that he was not expecting. But they're trying to defend him blindly. No, I don't get it.
And hey, I'll tell you what, if it is chess, that closing down and keeping that straight shut with virtually nothing except drones and speedboats, that's fucking checkmate on their end, because they're achieving every goal they want, which is putting all that pressure on the Trump administration with virtually no Navy, but yet they're keeping that strait shut.
Well, you heard my last caller. He indicated the strait is actually open.
Yeah, that's probably the most ludicrous claim you can make. That's like saying, okay, before, and you can look at the tracker, they have a tracker that shows you the ships. Before there was an average of like 140. Right. Now there's like 5 to 7. So to have like a 94% success rate in keeping it shut, and just because a few are getting through, now they're going to say, oh, it's open. I mean, it's just the stupidity and the bounds that they'll to try to justify this. It's ridiculous. The only prayer these people have, Tim, is that they're able to weaponize some of these DSA people and just fear the boomers that will not vote for a socialist.
But speaking of DSA, which you heard my last caller bringing that up as well, are the DSA toxic to the Democrats' success? Are they a negative to the Democrats, or do you think they're a positive? What say you?
I think right now they're a negative because there's just too many people that aren't going to vote for them in this country.
Yeah, are they negative? Are they negative to the point where the Republicans may survive in the midterms?
That could be their ace in the hole, I think, if anything, because, you know, once again, the biggest voting group right now is the boomers, and, you know, they've already went through McCarthyism. And now they're just going to be able to use this DSA to weaponize them, claiming they want to get rid of the Constitution, whatever other nonsense the right continually says to try to steer the narrative into, you know, making these outcomes happen. They're just going to keep doing that. And I believe this is going to be as the most successful thing that they have. So, yeah, you know, honestly, if the Democrats were smart, they would get with a moderate and they would just mop the floor with the Republicans, but they're just not smart enough.
I don't totally disagree with you, but I think here's the conundrum, or here's the problem. If the Democrats get smart and get with a moderate just to get rid of the Republican Party, the Democrat voters are indicating that the Hakeem Jeffries and the Nancy Pelosi types, they're not doing what we want either. So what they're suggesting is, just like about a decade ago, Trump coming down 2016, saying, vote for me, what the hell do you have to lose? MAGA was saying the same thing about moderates in regards to Jeb Bush. We don't want a moderate Republican because they're not getting shit done. We want somebody that's going to upset the system. Trump was promising getting rid of the deep state, exposing corruption, you know, that's what Trump was promising. The social Democrat socialists are kind of promising something very similar, is that we're going to, you know, tax the wealthy and hold the wealthy accountable. We're going to do the same things that the MAGA candidate was promising. We're going to do it on our side, because we also believe there's a lot of Democrat and Republican corruption. They're in office too long. We talk about term limits. They're promising the same shit. They don't want a moderate. Moderates are not getting anything done.
Yeah, I feel like that's very fair and honest pushback on that point, Tim. All I can tell you is, you know, I know this younger generation is really revolting against the current administration, and maybe a moderate, someone like Jon Stewart, who can just appeal to both groups enough, you know. But I mean, let's be honest. Do you really think that this country is ready to elect a woman or a Muslim or a socialist? I mean,
at what
or a
level?
gay person?
At what level?
What do you mean?
Well, I don't think the country is anywhere remotely near ready to elect a Muslim as president. But we got Ilhan Omar, and so they're clearly ready to do it as a Congress and now we got Abdul El Said, the Democrat nominee for Senate. So there are areas they're ready to do it, just maybe not at the presidential level. I think they were ready to. I think Hillary Clinton showed a woman an uphill battle, but a woman could potentially become president. They're going to have and it probably needs to be a white woman, but they're going to have an uphill battle. But I do believe a woman could be president.
I think you're right. I feel like with the damage this current administration is doing, and the everyday being something insanely new, I feel like we need we just don't need an uphill battle. We need a candidate that's likely will appeal to mostly enough people to just win everybody over and can't be weaponized. Now, I think once again, you make an excellent point about this, especially the younger people that are really pushing for more of a socialist because they do want some real change and because the system's fucking rigged and everybody knows it on some level, unless you're doing very well. So, but you know, just somebody like me that wants change, I want someone moderate for that reason.
Yeah, the Democrats are obviously starting to lean more and more towards a socialist environment, but the Republicans on the other side are saying the status quo was good. You know, people are bitching about healthcare, they're bitching about the economy, they're bitching about tuition costs, housing costs. The right now is basically saying, just go out and get a second job. You just ain't working hard enough. And that ain't working. That is not going to work. So the right is offering nothing but socialism is bad.
Right. Think about what your last caller said. He said that the economy is great. If that was so true, then why are people even thinking about socialism? Just that there, the way they're gaining traction is all you need as a litmus test that things aren't going good because people are feeling gypped. You know, the problem is these corporations do you know that the most return on investment a corporation can make is lobbyist? The NPR did a study on it, and it's like 700%, Tim. There is not one other thing that a corporation can do for a better return on investment than lobbyists. And when you look at like the medical and pharmaceutical industries and the oil companies that spend so much money on lobbying, and they do that to keep these prices artificially high to make everything as expensive as humanly possible. Me and you don't have fucking lobbyists, dude. We don't have that shit. So these fucking these corporations are changing the laws, and they're cheating, and that's what's happening, man.
And that's where I think, because the Republicans are framing it up as Democrats just want free shit. In reality, people just want a fair shake. I mean, there are people who are working 2 jobs, 60 to 80 hours a week, and they still can't afford health care. That ain't somebody that's wanting free shit. That's somebody that's working and they just still cannot get ahead. Just saying people want free shit to me is an insult to people who are really going to work every day. It's insulting.
And when you add on the fact that we've already spent $1 trillion was on this war already? Yeah. And for what? For what, man? What did we do for
the belief is that it's for a safer America. It's up to the voter. Do you believe what Trump is saying, that Iran was going to develop a nuclear bomb and they would have used it on us already? If you believe that, then you're willing to deal with some short-term pain for long-term gain because your safety is paramount. That means more than anything in terms of gas prices. So for the folks who believe Trump, that they were only a few weeks or days away from getting a bomb and we had to do this, they can hold on. They're not going to cry over the economy because being safe is more important. The problem is most people don't believe that. Most people don't believe that they were that close.
He already said with Operation Midnight Hammer, he annihilated them. I mean, after you're annihilated, it takes less than a year to build back up to be a threat? I mean, that's ridiculous. And think about this, Tim. You can make a much, much stronger argument for the fact that right now, because all these other countries are looking at Iran and seeing what's happening, and now they want to build nukes because they don't want the same thing to happen to them. Other countries like North Korea that have them, no one's fucking with them. So the proliferation of developing nukes is now at the forefront of every country's mind because they don't want the same outcome as Iran. They know that if you have nukes, you'll be taken more serious. So
to me what Trump has done probably will cause a nuclear arms race because not at America, certainly with us even threatening Cuba and Greenland and all. The world's biggest superpower has essentially went rogue. They're not only attacking their adversaries, they're threatening their allies and everybody. So it is in your best interest worldwide to have some kind of atomic weapon just to keep right now it's America. Maybe some other nation may become a rogue nation, but right now it's America. So I absolutely, if I'm Iran, yes, that is our primary goal, is to try to get our hands on some kind of nuclear weapon because otherwise the United States will be back. They'll come. It's just like a bully. A bully will come up with any reason they want to fuck with you. You need to be able to either you deal with the bully or you prepare for the time they will come back and want something else. We will be back with another excuse. I'll give you the last word. I do got to move it on for time though.
Okay. Listen, Tim, thanks for having me up. Listen, one last thing is I think if anything that this war has made the rest of the world see us as weak. And not only that, but it's also shown countries like Iran where our weaknesses are, how better to prepare for us. And it's also shown Iran, they don't even need a nuke. They basically have something way stronger, which is shutting down the strait and controlling 20% of the world's oil's population and causing that kind of ripple and panic. If they just developed better drone systems and better capability, which is way cheaper and they could be way more effective, then a nuke would become obsolete for them. That works as long as we still have a republic with democracy. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, Chico. All right. And when I say it works as long as we still have a republic with democracy, is right now the people in the country still have a say, because countries that do not have that are not a republic or do not have democracy, the leadership doesn't care if the people are starving, or like in Iran right now. In Iran, inflation is way up. Things are super expensive. They are hurting economically, but their country is not bowing down because they are not a democracy. Same thing in Cuba. We're hurting Cuba. We've been hurting Cubans all of our lives. We've been causing major misery and pain in that country, but they're not bowing down because they are not a democracy. If America loses the republic and we're no longer a democracy, then shutting down the strait won't work for Iran. Because if we end up with some sort of dictatorship or something of that angle, the leader won't care that gas prices in America are very high, because they won't be subjected to being controlled by what the people of this country think. Right now, our leadership is still kind of controlled by what the voters think. That doesn't exist in Cuba or Iran. So that's what I'm saying. Anyway, tap the screen and get the likes on up to 55,000. I've been meaning to play this. I'll play it real quick before we move on. We haven't talked about this at all, but I'm assuming this is the Karmelo Anthony and what is the other, Austin Metcalf, the deceased? That case is back in the news. Now, the video is poor on this because I kind of took it right off the screen because I was shocked to hear this.
So what's the latest? Hey, Donald, yeah, so some really interesting developments. So Karmelo Anthony's new defense team, his new legal team, said that they're going to call 12 witnesses to testify. They've already had one. The second one now, his name is Mike Howard. You might recognize that name because he was on Karmelo Anthony's defense team during the initial murder trial. So he's on the stand right now. But let me tell you, this is where things have gotten interesting. I want to get to this new information about this gentleman's agreement that everybody's talking about. The gentleman's agreement was to keep certain character evidence about Anthony and Metcalf out of this trial. Prosecutors talked about Austin Metcalf and an incident as a juvenile that was racially charged involving graffiti. Okay, they also talked about Karmelo Anthony's ex-girlfriend going to an assistant principal to say she was worried Anthony was stalking her. Both of these nuggets of information were part of this gentleman's agreement that we've heard about, but never heard this actual information according to the prosecution. So none of this is heard at trial. So there was also text messages not presented at the trial again, and this is from Anthony to his girlfriend, where he said he was low-key on the verge. Now, prosecutor Bill Werski, who was in there, said he was spiraling. And Connell, again, this was all on the day of the track meet. And all of this, for the very first time we're hearing right now, we didn't hear it back in June because of this gentleman's agreement, but now we're hearing it from the new legal team, and the old legal team, Mike Howard, is on the stand. So it's going to be really interesting to see what he has to say as all of this was transpiring. Not to mention, Connell, both families are in the courtroom, so emotions running really high, although so far I've heard they haven't really displayed much movement thus far.
Point being is, this is a lot of valuable information that the jury never heard. Now, Austin Metcalf, the one that is serving 35 years, text on the day of the stabbing that he was low-key on the verge. On the verge of what? Committing a homicide? So the jury didn't hear that, which makes Austin Metcalf look like he was already kind of planning something. But also, the jury didn't hear that the late Anthony, Karmelo Anthony's the one that said he was on the verge. Austin Metcalf, the deceased, now apparently he was doing some shit. The girlfriend is saying that she felt he was stalking her. They got graffiti, so he's been painting racist shit. I mean, he doesn't come across as just some kind of all-American, football player anymore. These two gentlemen had some beef between each other. They had some beef between each other. So to me, the jury should have heard this stuff. I don't know why the lawyers would make a gentleman's agreement not to let this stuff come out. Now, Karmelo Anthony said he's on the verge the day of the stabbing. To me, it sounds like, if I'm just doing some quick analyzation of this, Austin Metcalf was fucking with Karmelo Anthony, and Karmelo Anthony decided that was the day he was going to do something about it. That's what it sounds like to me, is they were fucking with this dude on an ongoing, not just under the umbrella, not just when they were under the umbrella in the rain, allegedly. No, these folks had beef between each other. It sounded like he may have been bullying him or fucking with him in some other way. And Karmelo Anthony is kind of like, I'm about to handle this today. And he did. That's what it sounds like. I don't know if this will end up getting Karmelo Anthony a retrial or anything like that at all. Now the judge has been removed. They got a new judge. If you guys want to talk about this, like I said, I believe that Karmelo Anthony had bad lawyering. I just think he had bad lawyers. I don't think it was a smart thing to not let this stuff come out, because thinking that you were going to convince folks that they asked you to move and the reason portrayed for why Karmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf made Karmelo Anthony to me look like a murderer. Like, this is the lamest of reason to go out and take somebody's life. But if it turns out that you've been fucking with this guy over days, stalking his girlfriend and messing with him and bullying him over and over again, I'm not saying that means you should walk, but certainly 35 years really looks like a harsh sentence at that point. I mean, bullies do snap. Bullies are under pressure. So I would like to see where this goes. I don't know if it's going to result in him getting a new trial, but the jury should have heard this, in my opinion. The jury should have absolutely heard it. Anyway, continue on with the program. The truth will come out in this trial. But the trial's over with already. You would need to get a whole new trial for the truth to come out. Austin and his brother are degenerate, just like their drunken father, just like those boys that killed Nolan Wells. I think you're going a little far with it. I don't know where his father is a drunken degenerate. You're going kind of heavy with that. Karmelo Anthony stalking his girlfriend. Is that what you're saying? Okay. And somebody in the comments is saying, where is the proof they bullied him? I told you in my analysis where you got them talking about stalking and shit was going on. I'm just simply saying these two individuals had more contact between each other than just what transpired on that day. They made it sound like he went and sat under there sat under their camp or under their umbrella doing while it was raining. They asked him to move, and he just up and stabbed somebody. These two gentlemen had beef between each other before that event. That's what I'm saying is these folks have more information between each other. But anyway, looking in the comments, says him a killer. Well, that's what he's been charged with. That's what he's been convicted of. So we'll see how it turns out. Anyway, let me go back to the box. Help your boy out with the head mustache, TikTok cap goals. This is a shorter show today, so understand that. In the comments, the tent wasn't the first encounter. No, these guys knew each other. Black kills a white, and you are trying to defend the black. If a white kills a black, you are defending the black. You all are racist. Florida Blondie, you are misreading what is said because I was one of the main ones on the show saying Karmelo Anthony was not an angel and he did not deserve to walk. And I heard folks on the right was saying the same thing about, better yet, folks on the left, African Americans were criticizing me just like you are now, saying I was defending the white guy. Stick, good evening.
What's good, Tim? How you doing?
Oh, man, I don't even know today. The economy's doing great, says Straight Talk.
Yo, that dude. I mean, he's an ignoramus. You feel me? He's not on. I don't know if he took his meds or I don't know what he got going on, but he ain't right in the head. You steadily showing them and telling them how regular people, not the people that play the stock market, not the filthy rich, the regular people,
right,
are losing every day. Even some.
But wait a minute. What about? But wait a minute. His belief, and many folks on the right believe that the only reason if you're not succeeding in America, if you're not succeeding in this economy, is because of something you are doing wrong. You are not working enough. You are not exerting yourself. It's something you are doing. If you're not doing well in America, it's your fault. That's kind of the mindset of the right.
Well, first of all, he was the dumbass that got up here and said, "Oh, you went to school. It's not my fault. You didn't give me skills, and they're not using." Well, why the fuck the schools selling that fucking diploma? If you can't get no job with the diploma that the school's telling you, yeah, you can come here and get this diploma because apparently you're supposed to be getting a higher education to do different specific jobs that we need out there in the world. So if you're getting a diploma in said study and can't get a fucking job, then that means we have to understand who the fuck is in charge, who's setting the rules, and who's doing the shit. If that's the case, at this point, we know that the jobs are under, 23,000? So yeah, it's motherfucking Trump's fault. And then you got bitches like him and bitches like MAGA Reacts that get up here and say that dumbass shit and have me go off because they stupid as fuck. And that's pretty much that.
Well, but what about what I pointed out? If you do believe that Iran was an imminent threat to the United States, then I can understand why MAGA still favors Trump in this economy. Because if we do have to go to war, we should be willing to accept a little bit of short-term pain because keeping us safe is the biggest goal you can have. So the belief is that right now, yeah, gas prices are a little higher. We're dealing with the Strait. We're dealing with all of Iran's mess. But that's because I'm keeping you safe.
Well, that's because you're an idiot and you believe it. Like whoever believes that shit is a fucking dumbass. Because number one, the intelligence, that's what they are. They're supposed to be intelligent. They're up there making these decisions, whether who has what. They got their spies and their people, their diplomats, and anybody else that they can speak to tell them what's going on. They got the fucking the nuclear commission or whoever they are, the IPEC, whatever that shit is called.
Yeah, I know
they got all of that
yeah.
shit. Yeah, they got all this shit going on that people who do their fucking job and they're not just sitting back saying, well, I think they're doing this and I think they're doing that. And this dude over here that's another goddamn president thinks they're doing this and thinks they're doing that. And he's telling me, even though I know he would probably benefit from it, he's telling me that they got this and they got that. And he's been saying this shit for 30 years. Like, what are we doing? He's the only dumbass to believe that shit.
You know
And
something?
I ain't making no excuses for him. He's a bitch ass dude that wanted probably to do the shit to take his motherfucking everybody's mind off the E files. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing more.
Well, and listen, I think even some of my MAGA viewers, if they're really being honest, and I get them oftentimes on the show admitting, I think most people do believe that Netanyahu is the one that convinced Trump to do this. I think Gen X, who is hardcore MAGA, Gen X, that's what he says. That's one of the only main issues he has with Trump is that he let Netanyahu manipulate him into getting us in war.
He lying. That ain't an issue for him because he's willing to get up here, lay down on the ground, put his coat in the puddle to let Trump walk across it.
No, I'm not. Hold on. I'm not disagreeing with anything you said. He is riding with Trump. He's definitely on the Trump train. But what I'm saying is, even him, he admits that Trump fucked up with Iran. He does believe that Netanyahu found a sucker in Trump.
And I don't give him credit for saying that because as soon as he say that, he gonna say, but you know what? But hold on though. Maybe he tried to do such and such and he was trying to save a little girl that was choking on a lollipop and maybe he just hit her on her neck. You know, you gotta understand that Trump is, man, shut the fuck up. What we understand is Trump ain't shit, you ain't shit. You will make excuses for him. You will turn around and say, well, I don't agree with this, but then cape for everything else. So you're no different than the motherfuckers, the 30%. You're part of the 30%. You're MAGA. Through and through, you'll make excuses of, none of it makes any sense. You don't give a damn as long as you make an excuse for your Lord and Savior. You and Byron Donald should have a fucking house together.
Real quick in the comments, I didn't pay attention to the news as much today. Chris in the comments says North Korea fired several short-range ballistic missiles today. Is that true? Have you heard anything like that?
I'm not watching TV at this moment.
I mean, we got Trump admitted he has a really good relationship with North Korea, and they've been acting right since he went and met him. Tell me that didn't happen.
So apparently, North Korea feels like, oh, our relationship is so good, I can just go ahead and just shoot a missile.
And I just looked it up. Yeah, I looked it up. It is true. It is true. They did do that.
Right.
Oh my God.
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
That's embarrassing to President Trump. That's embarrassing to President Trump.
No. Remember, if you the dummy that believe that he has a good fucking relationship with North Korea, if he has a good relationship with China or Russia, if you want to believe that, then believe it. You know what I mean? And we'll sit back and we'll laugh at your ass when we come to find out that none of this shit was fucking true because we didn't believe him from the jump. You want to give him let's give him a chance. Or let's give him 6 months. Hell, man, it might take a year. Now we're in year 2. 18 months.
That's
18 months.
I mean,
24 months.
So why would Trump say he's having a good relationship with North Korea? This is terrible. Thank God. I didn't hear about this. That's terrible.
To save, he does shit to save fucking face. He tries to say he's so big and bad, and then just like in the beginning, you had Putin putting out the pictures of Trump and well, not Trump, but his wife on their public television.
And Trump speaks favorably of Putin, even though he put those pictures of his wife on state TV. Why is he doing this? Why? Because I just like when it comes to the racial issues, everybody wants to try and claim that Trump is a racist or something of that nature. But in reality, Trump is Trump is making a lot of friends with brown people and being critical of white people. He's critical of most NATO countries and favorable to many Muslim countries. Make that make sense?
No. Okay. So number one, when you want something, just like the Europeans when they went to Africa, and just like the Portuguese when they went to Brazil, they came with fucking gifts, right? So they do the same thing to Trump. Qatar, they came with gifts.
What do you say? He's for sale?
They want something. Oh no, it's not so much. Yes, definitely he's for sale. I'm not saying he's not for sale. Definitely he's for sale. However, what I'm saying is they know they were hot mic'd saying, if you give this guy butter him up, just say nice things about him, he'll do shit. And definitely if you give him something, Qatar gave him a fucking $400 million jet. What you think they wasn't gonna get? You didn't think they wasn't gonna get F-35s? You didn't think they weren't gonna get that and get trained on them as well over here?
What are the chances that we will figure out someday that these things weren't gifts, but rather quid pro quos? I mean, we're down payments for stuff. Do you think we'll ever get to the bottom? Because I'm with you. I don't believe the Qatar jet was just a free and clear gift either. This is where the right always pushes back on socialism and social programs by saying there's no such thing as a free lunch. But then when Trump gets free shit, they don't use the same mindset. So, no, I don't believe nobody's going to give you a $400 million aircraft with no strings attached to it. But the right seems to believe that happened with Trump.
Well, you're talking about a people that think something that we pay with our taxes, such as SNAP or something like that, is a handout. But then they're the same people that say, we don't want the handout. We want to wait on the rich to give us something called trickle-down economics. These are the same people that's waiting on the rich to give them something. These are people, and you've heard it for yourself. He don't want to do nothing for nobody. Straight talk commerce.
Yeah, straight talk is hard. Yeah.
For nobody.
Yeah, straight talk is
right,
straight talk. Remember the old 90s t-shirts that said "Don't ask me for shit"? That's straight talk. I mean, he's serious. Listen. Go ahead.
I don't even believe him. I don't even believe him when he say, if you ask me for some food, I'll give it to you. I don't believe him.
Ooh.
I don't believe him. I think he's a liar and the truth ain't in him. I believe he gets up there and he tells everybody all these tricks and trades and nooks and crannies that don't go anywhere. Because I don't understand how you got all of these people that you trading with and you're not a fucking billionaire. You're not sitting right next to Bill Gates or somebody. You ain't, I don't even think you make $50,000 a year. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Damn.
I really do. I really think he stays in the state where it costs probably $12,000 to live.
He's in California, he said.
Man, his ass ain't in California. His ass is on the borderline of motherfucking I ain't got shit. That's where he's at.
All right, well, stick
this is the city of fuck you. I don't do nothing for nobody but me and mine. That's the city he's.
Well, I do believe that. I mean, he's pretty clear about that part. Stick, I got to move it on. A shorter show today because I got to run some errands. But I can't disagree with you on straight talk at all. He's kind of come out and admitted he's a don't ask me for shit kind of guy.
So it's out there already. I gotta send you something. You know, I always do the thing to make you famous. You know how I do, Tim. I make you famous.
Talk to me.
I got something. I'm gonna send it to you. No. I'm gonna send it to you. And you didn't do anything. I'm just gonna let you know you didn't fluff. You didn't do anything. Okay. I just was bored, man. I just was bored. So when you see it,
some of your fucking AI again.
No, it's not an AI. I got you though.
All right.
Trust me. Well, I just wanted to put it out there and let you know it's not because I was doing out of solace or I was mean or no, I just was bored.
I'll look for it right after I get out of the show. Stick, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You gotta call me no sir. I'm a regular motherfucker. Dinkel, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
What's up? What brings you on? I know you went sending the Galaxy for a stick, so I figured I'd just give you time.
No, I wanted to come up after that clown he had up here. He was just saying so much shit, man. I don't know how you do it, man. He was just up here talking about the economy is great. And now we found out the new line or the new limit is 9 more months. We just need 9 more months. And I don't know where he came up with that arbitrary number, like 9 months.
Well, I'll something. Listen, I've compared President Trump, and I got in trouble by some of my Democrats for this, but I'm going to do it again. I believe Trump has a lot in common with God, and what I mean when I say that is the mindset is, Jesus don't come when you want, but he comes right on time. That really is very similar to he's playing 3D chess. You just don't understand what he's doing. God works in mysterious ways. This is what folks often say that are religious. They believe the same with Trump. You got to have faith. Maybe you don't understand what's going on right now, but everything happens for a reason. MAGA says the exact same stuff about President Trump. So Okay, right now you don't understand what's going on with the war. You don't understand what he's doing. It's God works in mysterious ways. I really believe he has a lot in common in the eyes of MAGA, not me, but in the eyes of MAGA, I believe he has a lot in common with God.
Yeah. So if something happens before he's in control, or if something happens after he's in control, if it's good, it happened because
and that's but that's what I mean. If you got a relative that's dying of cancer and you pray to the Lord that person goes into remission and they do, you thank God. If that person does not go in remission and they pass away of cancer, you thank God for the time you had with them. You're going to thank God no matter what.
Yeah, he called them home.
Yeah. And that's how they view President Trump. If Trump gets up there and says, no new wars, you thank God for a president that finally learned not to bring us into new wars. If he gets in there and he attacks Iran and threatens Greenland and Cuba and Panama and Canada, you thank God for a president that finally has an alpha male personality that's going to protect us. You're going to thank him no matter what. He has a lot in common with God.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Hey, I did want to give you. I did want to say something to kind of cut this conversation off at the pass.
Okay.
I know it's coming. The U.S. Census Department did they analyzed some data, and they said up to 24,000 non-citizens voted in the election. So guess what happened as soon as they said that? I'm sure you can get what Trump said.
Well, widespread fraud. They may start trying to, what they say when they take you off the voter rolls or purge you. I mean, all of that's going to be possible from that.
But Trump immediately just said, "Look, I told you I won. I told you I won in 20." But what they didn't show, and the reason I attribute it to you was because you said from the jump, when they show these numbers of non-citizens voting, everybody automatically assumes that 100% of those people voted for the Democrat.
I had a conversation with one of my MAGA friends just yesterday who said that what Trump is saying is coming true and they're finding fraud. And I told him exactly that. I was like, just because you find fraud don't mean it's all Democrat fraud. You're right. Any type of fraud they find, just like Dinesh D'Souza with 2,000 Mules, it's believed that only Democrats are capable of cheating. Trump, even if Trump can prove fraud, okay, prove that they weren't cheating on your behalf. You can't just assume it's all Democrat fraud, and they do that. They do that.
The craziest part about this analysis is the vast majority of the votes came from Florida, in Texas. now think about it. He won those.
Right. It was a few obscure Democrats. So
now should we question?
No.
The reason why he won is because of those votes.
You
also gotta understand 24,000 is a lot of votes. But we had 160 million people vote. So 24,000 sounds like a lot, but it's not when you break it down by state, and it's not enough to change an election. But they're going to use that, and I was just letting you know, because as soon as you start hearing it.
Yeah. Well, listen, I don't think there was anybody that doubted even for a minute that Trump was not going to claim fraud in his midterms. I mean, Trump is predictable. If Trump has skin in any election, he's going to claim fraud. We know that. I don't think he's been involved in any election since he became a politician, whether it was for him or some candidate he was promoting, that he did not claim fraud. He's absolutely going to say that in every election going forward. You already know that.
Yeah, and just the fact, which you said many times before, anybody with the ability, the technical know-how, the skill to be able to cheat would never just exclude one person and let everybody else win. If I'm cheating for the Democrats, all of them gonna lose. It's not gonna be, I just found out enough to tweak one person's signature on all of these ballots
Well, I'm going to use the Trump is like God analogy once again. Just like when it comes to religion, a lot of that stuff is a lot more difficult to digest if you ask questions. Most if you're religious, you're supposed to have faith. You don't ask questions, and that works with Trump because when we're talking about the 2020 election, why the hell are there no Republican Congress or Senate that ran that year complaining about fraud? I mean, if people are cheating all over the country, there were plenty of Republicans that won in 2020 and some that lost. None of them are saying they got cheated. Why is that? How did we get it? When you go to vote in a national election, you don't just vote for president. You vote for Senate, Congress. You vote for fucking librarians and council members. You even vote for legislation. Maybe they want to build a parking garage in the central business district. You vote for all of that. Nobody else in 2020 is saying anything about fraud but him. That makes zero sense. But like I said, godlike complex, it works when you do not ask questions.
And then their top propaganda station gets accused and convicted and has to pay almost $1 billion for lying.
Well, yeah, the Dominion vote, yeah, and that's another good point. Okay, if you're going to say, he was ripped off, how do you respond to all the lies he got caught in? And of course, once again, you don't ask questions about that part. You're supposed to just believe him. It works if you have faith.
And then we know because the emails and the private conversations with those MAGA people were revealed, and they was all telling him, John Hannity, Bill, everybody was dying. Yo, you lost.
Yeah, my guess is he will end up with, when it comes to that whole thing, he will go down in history as somebody that tried to steal an election. I mean, it's been 6 years, nothing's came out of it, and nothing will. And even if you can prove that something didn't look right, you can't prove it was being done on behalf of the Democrats. He's never going. And not only that, but as you and I are pointing out, you've also made a lot of statements that we've been able to prove are lies. So there's no way we're ever going to walk out of this with definitive proof you won. At best, you may be able to prove some fraud took place, but enough that you would have won and it fits your narrative, winning by a landslide and all that, that'll never be proven. So he will likely go down in history as somebody that tried to steal that in 2020.
Yeah. I just got a couple quick things. I know you're moving fast today.
Sure.
I just wanted to say that when these people keep talking about how they're moving this oil around and that what did old guy boys, he said it'll be a swimming pool after they figure out all of these pipelines and stuff.
Oh my
I hope
God.
he understands that all the pipelines get their oil from rigs that are above land. And if the person you're fighting against has drones and ballistic
They're
missiles,
blowing up the rigs.
a pipeline doesn't make a damn difference because it's easy to bust one. It don't make.
I mean, the pipelines are going to be stationary targets. There are going to be terrorism in those countries where they're going to be trying to blow up the pipe. I mean, Iran has sympathizers that are probably in Oman and in Saudi Arabia and all these places. And there's going to be pipelines are going to have a lot of you're not going to have security along the line of a whole fucking pipeline. All it takes is one improvised explosive, and that pipeline don't work anymore. So the pipelines are only as good, as it takes to build them. But the pipeline thing is not going to work long term.
I just wanted to, because a lot of people are not thinking, but they're listening to him saying, "Oh, we figured out ways to get around this stuff."
Yeah.
We can't even protect the bases that we have in these countries. Those places will not be protected from drone strike that will take out any pipelines that don't make sense. And the last thing I want to say was there will be a retrial with Karmelo Anthony. That's why they replaced the judge.
So you think he's going to successfully get a retrial?
He is going to get a retrial. That's why they replaced the judge, because they were talking about he was giving.
Do you think he should have? What is your opinion? You think he should have walked?
I don't know about walked, but he definitely shouldn't have got a
35. Yeah.
Of somebody that like the guy that Trump pardoned, who was in charge of a multi-million-dollar drug organization who transferred tons of cocaine and murders and stuff. Like he got a sentence equivalent to
Yeah. Yeah, they threw him away with 35 years. That is, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's dudes in the hood that nobody gives a shit about that murders folks and don't get 35 years. That is a lot of time they gave that guy.
And now that they have proved that the judge gave misinformation during the jury instructions, it's gonna be interesting. I'm not saying he's gonna walk free and all of that stuff. I'm just saying if he has provided enough information this fast to demand a retrial and got the judge removed.
So, do you agree with me that it appears that he had bad lawyers?
Oh yes, yeah. We've already come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
That's why he's got a brand new team, and I mean, you know, going into a second trial, their chances are that 30-some years is going to be drastically reduced. I'm not saying he might not end up with 10, 15 years, but that's a big difference in a young man's life of doing.
Hell yeah, 35 years is most of your adult. I mean, he's only 18, so.
Right.
But 35 years still puts him. 35 years puts him in my fucking age. So.
Right. You 50.
Yeah, that's a long time. I can't even imagine spending the last 35 years of my life behind bars. I would, that's brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, so
if he wasn't a criminal when he went in, he will be an experienced criminal when he comes out.
Yeah. Going to prison obviously changes you for life, and yeah, most people come out and they're going to be productive to a limited amount at best. I mean, because the way the system is that nobody's going to hire a murderer and all of that. He can only live certain places. You can, I don't know, can you even get student loans and stuff like that with that on your? No. Yeah, so you can't. Yeah, it's designed so you really never can get on your feet of any significance unless you got somebody willing to really help you out. And by then, his parents are probably dead and all. I mean, it's a terrible way to come out. But then, Cal, I got to move on, but I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, take it easy.
All right, you too. Looking in the comments, was he offered a plea deal? The first time he was. I don't know what's going on the second time. Stand your ground law does not apply to black folks. That ain't true. Do say, isn't there a video right now floating around of a black woman that was aiming a firearm at a white guy over a fucking parking space of all things, and the guy kept charging her, and she popped him in the chest, and he died. I mean, that is a current case going on. And I don't believe they're charging her with anything. She's on video killing a white guy. So I'll say this. If you're going to use stand your ground, I would rather be white than black. But it's not black and white. It's not a solid case of it only works for white people and it doesn't work for black people. It does. I mean, there's some cases where an African, I know another case. This one is several years ago, but it's on video as well. An African-American man was sitting in a Waffle House down south somewhere, and these are all younger folks, and 3 young white guys walked into the Waffle House saying all kinds of racist shit to him, and one of them punched him in the face, and he happened to be carrying, I think, a 44, and he shot him and killed him, and no charges. And that's on video as well. He's an African-American. I assume that some of you may have seen it, but he was sitting in a Waffle House, and they came into the Waffle House saying racist shit to him. One of them punched him in the face. It was 3-on-1, and he pulled out his gun and shot one of them. Put his gun on the counter in the Waffle House until the cops came. He didn't get charged with anything. And the person he shot died. So there is some cases of African Americans using stand your ground and it absolutely working. But as I stated, if you're going to use it, I do believe you would be better off to be Caucasian. Anyway, looking in the comments, people who don't know the value of anything love socialism. No, I don't think it's not knowing the value of anything. I think it's the fact that the current system sucks. And the current leadership is doing nothing to fix it so that somebody else is in their ear and they're listening to them. Right now, what the right is saying is socialism is terrible. We're going to let you continue to simmer in what is known as the status quo. If you can't afford health care, socialism is bad. You need to just live in the current system. If you cannot afford housing, socialism is bad. You just need to live in the current system. They're offering nothing. The citizens of this country is complaining about health care, sending themselves or their children to college, housing and affordability, saving for retirement, wages being stagnant, not improving. And the right is just saying socialism is bad. We're not going to do anything about any of that stuff. So that's why they're listening to the socialists. You're offering them nothing. What has Trump offered to people that's complaining about health care? What does he offer them? What does he offer people that are complaining that salaries are not moving? Nothing. He's offering you nothing. They're just going around saying socialism bad. Isn't this what the Republicans often say? Is the Democrats have no platform other than orange man bad. You're doing that now. You have no platform other than socialism bad. You're offering nothing to millions of people that are complaining that they're hurting. You're offering them nothing but socialism bad. That's not a platform. And as long as you continue offering them nothing, the number of people that are willing to listen to socialist candidates is going to grow. You got to do something more than say we're not doing anything for you. When Trump ran for president, everything I just mentioned, the economy, gas prices, healthcare, affordability, housing, retirement, salaries, people were bitching about all of that stuff when Trump ran for president. And Trump promised to do something about all of that stuff. He got in there, he's done nothing about any of it. And now we're, I suppose, supposed to just keep supporting him. So you don't want socialism. Find a candidate that's going to do more than what the right is currently doing. Before I go to the next caller, I do want to hear this. I haven't heard it yet, but one of my viewers advised me of this. And I think it's worthy of hearing because this really makes things look bad, considering the president talked about how great of a relationship he has with North Korea the other day.
Okay, so right off the top, we start with an alarm sounded by the South Korean military. Communist North Korea launching a barrage of short-range ballistic missiles. This happening just days after President Donald Trump says he expects to meet with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un later this year. This also comes as the U.S. chose to scale back joint military exercises with South Korea. That's a move Mr. Trump says is based on his good working relationship with Kim Jong-un of the North. Live, the CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes is tracking this story in Washington. Nancy, are these launches meant to send a message?
They might be, Reed. They might be.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into her opinion. I just want to verify that they happened because that's embarrassing for Trump to throw our allies under the bus. And within a couple of days, the guy he's saying, well, I got a good relationship with North Korea. Now the guy is doing provoking shit. Go figure. That really makes Trump look bad in that case. But once again, I don't know where MAGA will go on that. But I do recall under Biden, the mindset was the world is laughing at us. The world is not respecting us. That is a complete act of disrespect for Kim Jong-un to do that. That is completely disrespectful to President Trump. Let's see how he'll act on it. Maybe President Trump will do something about it, but that is really disrespectful to do that just a few days after Trump did that. Money has no religion or color, SGB. I agree with that. Do agree with that. Trump threw South Korea under the bus, then gave North Korea the go-ahead. I don't know if he gave North Korea the go-ahead, but apparently they took it that way. It was fireworks for North Korea. New Year's, calm down. Missiles, they fire missiles. Yeah. All right, tap the screen. Help me more with the hat and mustache TikTok cap goes. Not a lot of love today. I get it. Short show. In the comments, you're not understanding when full socialism is implemented. You're taking partial socialism clowns. Look, you can scream socialism is bad until you blue in the face. You may be accurate, but if you're offering nothing to the people that are complaining, what are they supposed to fucking do? You're offering nothing and complaining that what the other guy's offering is bad. Fill in the blanks with something. People are bitching about healthcare. People are bitching about retirement. People are bitching about salaries and minimum wage is not increasing. Fill in the blanks with something. You keep I'm just going to sit back, do nothing, and wonder why they're going and listening to this other guy that's making all kinds of promises to them. That is the dumbest fucking response I've ever heard in my life. Do something. You're sitting on your hands doing. Meanwhile, Trump is on TV bragging about ballrooms and reflective pools and shit. The complaints that people have are growing. You're doing nothing for the citizens. You're bragging about what you're doing for yourself. Keep doing that. You're gonna continue complaining that the number of folks looking at socialism is growing. You're offering them nothing. I don't know what do you expect people to do? What allies are you talking about? The ones that didn't stand with us when we went to war. Handsome conservative. The purpose of NATO and Article 5 is an attack against one is an attack against all. It's the Three Musketeers, like, one for all for one. It's not designed for offensive maneuvers. Certainly if you do not give folks the heads up. When we attacked Iran, there were a lot of NATO member countries that were complaining we still got citizens in harm's way, and you guys just started bombing without even telling us anything. And this is in addition to what Trump said about all the NATO member nations when he became president, made all kinds of threats to them. Still, remember, he threatened to take Greenland and all that shit. And then all of a sudden, you decide to go into a unilateral war on your own, or I guess with Netanyahu, and why ain't nobody helping us? You didn't give anybody the heads up. You didn't call some kind of summit where you could put charts on the screen and show us that they're developing nuclear bombs. You didn't do shit. You just started bombing, and now all of a sudden you expect to wake us up in the middle of the night and say, we got a fight going on, come help us. The way he handled it is the reason why you're not getting any assistance. I mean, I used to play a clip on here of Stephen A. Imitating Trump by saying, he approached it like this: you ain't shit, you never gonna be shit, but give me some help with the war. That's the way Trump did it. And he seems shocked that nobody's joining in. You're embarrassing world leaders worldwide, saying all kinds of awful shit about them. What do you expect to happen? That's some backwards fucking thinking, in my opinion. The government exists to facilitate the corporation's enslavement of all workers. Yikes. Red and blue are both beholding to owners, not workers. And that statement is also, folks who believe that, it's also a reason why people are going towards socialism. They don't believe the typical moderate Republicans or Democrats are doing anything for them. Because keep in mind, the minimum wage ain't changed in like 20 fucking years. So that means Obama was in there, Biden was in there, Trump was in. None of them have been doing shit for the people. They want somebody who's going to deliver, not just promise. Trump is just yet another politician in a long line of successors that has promised and not delivered. They want somebody that's going to deliver. But they are offering them something, and the current administration is offering them nothing. Looking in the comments, and he has imaginary talks with the country he's bombing. That he does. That he absolutely does. Yeah, you can't get out I don't know what you're saying there, Doa Knife, something about doctors can only charge so much. They're not going in the same businesses, can only charge 50. You're still on the socialism bad argument, though. What are you doing for the people that have no health care? You can scream socialism bad until you're blue in the face. That was what I just said. You may be accurate, but what are you doing for the people that have complaints now? The people that are uninsured, what are you telling them? Socialism bad? Good luck? Going back to the box. We'll make it happen. I don't know what's going on with that, but Rakeem, good evening. Welcome to the program. 1 million seconds is 11 days, 1 bill. Okay, Trump made 3 times that. Yeah, the money Trump making in office. And we'll find out in the future how that money was made. I have yet to see a government that acts for the people who are given more power. Okay, fair enough. Like I said, to me, all I'm hearing is socialism bad. What are you doing for the people? What are you doing for folks who say they're working 60 hours a week and they still can't afford health care? Are you just looking at them and telling them socialism bad? What are you going to do for the people that are complaining? Socialism is literally a pyramid scheme, pay old investors with new investment. All I'm hearing is socialism bad. Why don't we come up and say, you know, Trump has done so much for the economy. Why the hell would you ruin it with socialism now? Trump has done so much to fix healthcare. Why are you ruining it with where are the accomplishments? You're providing nothing, but socialism is bad. That is not going to win, folks. I'm telling you, that is a losing argument. You're providing nothing and trying to say the guy that's offering something, what he is offering to do will not work. But I'm offering to do nothing. Stick with me. That is not going to fly. And most of those politicians were Democrats that made promises and didn't deliver your part. Even if that's true, handsome conservative, that doesn't take away from what is in there now. What is in there now is saying socialism bad, I mean, you want to bring up Biden, Obama, fucking Clinton, Carter. You want to bring them up? That is not going to change what's going on right now. None of that's going to work. The blame game is not going to get you out of that. In the comments, when Obama was president, y'all voted in I don't know what a dick smuggler is, Craig. No clue. But did we get rid of the dick smuggler and go with a pedophile? I mean, maybe we decided to upgrade it to young kids now. Is that what you're saying? It's almost a 200% increase to buy a home in the last 30 years, while minimum wage has barely changed. That's the argument being made. We'll go to Mike the Boss. Good evening, Mike. Libya. I got MAGA. MAGA reacts. Good evening.
Tim, what's going on?
Socialism bad. Let's do nothing. What say you?
No, I already told you all that shit. I'm not gonna repeat myself. You don't listen anyway.
I don't know. Why are you here?
Anthony stalking his girlfriend.
What did you come on for?
I wanted to correct you because you said it was Metcalf stalking his girlfriend and on the verge of going crazy. Okay. When the report you played clearly says Anthony was the one stalking his girlfriend and texting her that he's on the verge of going crazy. The only thing it said about Metcalf was he did some graffiti that was kind of maybe racist when he was a little kid.
So then why the hell did we get another judge then?
I don't know. That judge was pretty fair to me, and he kept that shit, even though it probably would have helped. I mean, it would have hurt fucking Anthony.
Yeah.
If he's texting his girlfriend that he's fucking,
on the verge,
he's about to go, he's about to lose it, and they fucking kept that at court, he got lucky. I mean, maybe his lawyers weren't that bad.
Do you feel that 35 years was ample, too much, too little? What do you think about the 35 years, though?
I think it's for murder. That's low for murder.
35 years? You realize how many murderers spend less than 35 years in prison? Very common for murderers to get less than that.
Well, that's because they're in California.
Who said? They're everywhere. They get less than 35 years is a long time, dude. Especially for a 17-year-old. That's a long time.
I don't know. Hopefully with good behavior and maybe some appeals, he'll get out early.
Yeah, he gonna come home. That's what's gonna happen.
What?
Have you been following?
Bullshit.
Have you been following the case?
I have not, and MAGA just made sure I realized that. Let me ask you, why do you think they're getting...
what you just played? I'm just correcting what you just played behind you.
Right. Why do you think they're getting a new judge, Mike? Because you mentioned this before.
I told you this. Listen, I told you this shit was gonna happen because I followed the case, and in the recusal hearing, there's so much shit that's coming out now. I don't know if y'all been following it yesterday.
I have not.
But okay, so let me give you an example. You guys understand that? You guys heard about the gentleman's agreement, right? Between
that's what we're talking about.
Right. So yeah, but there's a lot of detail that's been left out, right? When they talk about the girlfriend saying that they didn't read the entire text.
Girlfriend of who?
Of Anthony.
Karmelo Anthony. They didn't read the entire text.
So wait a minute, because MAGA, you said it's the girlfriend of Austin Metcalf.
No, I guess that's what you kept getting wrong, and I kept correcting you. You never listened to me.
So it's the girlfriend. It's the girlfriend of Carmelo Anthony. Okay, what did she say?
It's the girlfriend of Carmelo Anthony. It's funny because First of all, they haven't confirmed that because when they were talking about her entire text, they were going back and forth and they love each other and all this stuff. And it wasn't just about that. It was taken out of the context. But here's the funny part. Two things. Why would the family be so angry yesterday when the judge recused Roach from the retrial motion?
Why would the family of Austin Metcalf?
Yeah, they were irate. They were irate to the point where the dad got into it with somebody and spit on a woman yesterday.
Yeah, but why is that surprising? This kid killed your son. You want his ass right where he's at. He's trying to claw his way out. That would be like any win in court that Derek Chauvin get. George Floyd supporters are going to be pissed. You want him to stay in jail. That's why the dad is angry.
Well, wait, whose dad was angry? Which one? I'm a little lost. Which one's dad was angry?
Metcalf.
Austin Metcalf, the white kid.
Right.
The
and
deceased.
the reason I asked that question, because if you look at what's coming out today, that gentleman's agreement was done between the prosecution and Toby Shook, right?
Who's Toby Shook? That's the defense attorney?
That's the defense attorney. He was actually the chair. Mike Howard was the second chair.
So what was the defense attorney? A friend of the prosecutor or some shit? Were they working together? I told you that motherfucker had a bad lawyer. Now you don't think it was some kind of brilliant strategy, do you?
No. I told you either it was a brilliant strategy. Tim, you got to remember what I told you.
You said a brilliant strategy, or it was bad,
or it was a horrible attorney, or it was a brilliant strategy.
And where's your mind now on it? Where's your mind now on it?
I still can't tell yet. I haven't heard enough come out in this retrial yet. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Mike Howard is testifying to things today that, like, he was in the dark on a lot of things. They never told Anthony about this gentleman agreement. Did you know that?
No, I did hear that. I did hear that. Yes, I did hear
it. It didn't help him.
It did help him.
I'm going to tell you, Maga reacts.
Text messages where he claims that he's about to fucking lose it.
Are you following it today, or are you just reading the headline? Just tell me right now.
I'm just going off what I saw in that video that Tim played.
Okay, so did you hear all of the things that have been part of that agreement? None of Austin and Hunter's allegations and shit.
How could they make an agreement? Wait, how could they even make an agreement like that without telling the defendant? That should be misconduct.
That's why they filed for the Brady appeal today, right? Because they didn't listen. There's a lot coming out today, the last couple of days. But what I'm saying is the laundry list of things that are coming out behind the Metcalf twins at that school, the things that they had been doing, the things that they had been saying that were testified to today. The reason that, listen, they convinced Karmelo that whatever they said that they had on him, and they never talked to him about it. Mind you, he doesn't know this. He doesn't know that they have said. And I see in the comments, Hanson Conservative says, unbelievable, the man committed cold-blooded murder and you want him to get less time. I want him to get a fair trial. To me, it doesn't sound like he had a fair trial.
I think he got a fair trial.
There's no way in hell, hold on, there's no way in hell your lawyer should work out an agreement with the prosecutor and not advise you of it. I mean, just like if you take a plea deal, no matter what you do, the lawyer says, I think this will be in your best interest. They give you the choice of what you want to do. How are you making deals on behalf of the defendant without telling them? That's wrong.
A lot of this shit could be easily dismissed as a distraction. It's not part of the case.
So you were okay, but you're okay with making deals.
It helped and hurt him.
Yeah, but you're okay. Hold on. You're okay with making deals without letting the defendant know? You think that's okay?
I don't know. It depends on the situation.
There is no situation.
Understand what's going on.
There is no situation. There is no situation in regards to you making a deal with the prosecutor on what can be said in court about me and things like that without letting me why would you hide that from me? It's a 10-minute conversation. Why wouldn't you present that to the defendant?
I don't know.
I'm sure you don't know. I'm sure you don't.
I understand what they were saying.
Maga reacts. Do you know?
I mean, did the lawyer fucking admit to not telling him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
And another thing he admitted to, there was a shadow docket. Did you know about that?
Explain that to me then.
They had a separate, so normally your dockets are public. What's going to happen in court, what time the proceedings start, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They had
Melissa,
a
he
separate
admitted
docket.
it. That's how we know.
Yeah, they had a separate docket that they were operating from. They're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to do that. MAGA reacts.
And I see in the comments
for like 5 minutes. I could come back and tear all this shit apart.
You're not gonna tear apart. You're not gonna tear apart why he wasn't.
Him that he fucked up at repeating what he just played.
And that's why Denkel said that there was a reason the judge was removed. Yeah, you're not gonna tear apart why they didn't tell the defendant what was going on. I don't see any reason for why you would keep that from the defendant. No reason at all. I don't either.
Yeah, I bet if I fucking Google it, look into it for like 5 minutes, I could probably undo everything.
You ain't gonna undo that. You ain't gonna undo that.
Just give me this real quick. Would you like to bet some real money on it this time?
No, I'm good.
Are you sure?
I'm good. I'm not gonna bet you some shit that I haven't even looked into yet.
Okay.
I just don't trust you. You're biased. You're
okay, you can say
everything through dark glasses. You must be wearing the biggest pair of sunshades.
I mean, MAGA, let me ask you this. How would you feel if that was your son and your son had done something wrong and he got convicted and you were hoping your son would have a fair trial and the lawyers made a deal like that without telling you or your son about it? How would you feel about it? You would be like, that might be okay?
No, I would be pissed, but I'm usually on top of this shit. Like, they wouldn't be able to get away with anything like that.
They're not. That's why it's coming up. They're not getting away with
shit
it.
like that, and I fucking used it to my benefit. I fucking had a prosecutor come at me with some bullshit like that, and I was like, listen, bitch. I didn't say bitch, but I was like, listen, I told my lawyer this. Whatever he told you is not what I told him. It's not my fault that he fucking didn't pass the message correctly. So I actually used a situation like that to my benefit because the lawyer fucking, I don't know if he didn't understand or
it seemed to be working to his. Well, it seemed to be. Now he's gotten a new judge. He's gotten a new judge, and it's back in the news. They're using it to their benefit.
I still don't think it's gonna change anything because some of this shit so far it sounds like it's gonna hurt him more than help him.
Actually, it's not because number one, they've already recused the judge. Number one. Number two,
think the next judge is gonna be better.
Well, we don't know, but we know that judge wasn't shit. If he was making backdoor deals and being the one to almost advocate.
Making the deals. He just
wait a minute. MAGA reacts. Can you let me finish the sentence? And again, I just wish you would read.
Fucking lawyer.
I wish you would just read before you go on this and take this position that you yourself said you're not prepared to defend. I don't even know why you're doing it. I'm just telling you what's
experience.
I'm just telling you what's happening in the courtroom when you're pushing back, but you haven't read it. That's funny. So let me tell you another thing.
Because he hired a dumb lawyer then. Fuck. I mean, it's two lawyers making a deal which they each benefit from.
It doesn't
one
matter.
guy keeps some shit out of court, the other guy keeps some shit out of court.
That means that the defendant did not get a fair trial. Period.
No, it was balanced because it benefited both of them.
He didn't get a fair trial.
That didn't benefit Anthony, which I still don't think how this deal hurt him. Show me how this deal hurt him.
MAGA reacts using your own words that you just used. The words that you just used to describe the prosecution and defense means that the defendant did not get a fair trial. Period.
What do you mean? His lawyer was representing him.
It doesn't matter.
He made a deal that benefited him, and it was a deal. It benefited him and hurt him, and it benefited the other guy and hurt the other guy.
Let me ask you this one question, and then I'm going to move on. If you have an attorney who's working a deal with the prosecution and they don't tell you about it, how was that a fair trial for you?
And I see in the comments, Gen X says, I'm a stone cold racist, and that shit sounds shady to me.
It's common practice, because fucking...
It's not common practice.
It is fucking common practice. I just told you...
That ain't common practice. That's why the judge got removed. I mean, when they removed the judge, that's making it clear that the judge has been admonished.
I mean, listen, if it was a deal that only hurt him, I would agree with you, but if it both helped him,
just making a deal without telling him, doing it behind his back. As Gen X is saying, it looks shady to not tell the person whose life is on the line that you're making deals on his behalf. There's no legitimate reason to do that, other than you're trying to hide something from him.
I still don't think the girlfriend saying he was stalking her and he was saying
we can discuss all of that, but making a deal like that does not get explained away.
You know where the girlfriend's been the last 2 days?
I hear she was there with him, but still.
She was there with who?
With the fucking family. Apparently she still loves him, but doesn't change the fact that he was stalking her.
Well, but have you seen the text in their entirety, Maga Reacts?
No, I haven't.
So how do you know? I just told you that little quote that they've got out there isn't the entirety of the text. So I'm asking you, but isn't it strange that she's sitting at the retrial hearing with his parents?
No, it's not strange.
Why is that? Why is that?
Because she loved him. Apparently, her love, she remembers the love and doesn't remember the stalking, or the stalking wasn't bad enough. I mean, I've had relationships and I've seen relationships where people...
I got 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Okay, cool.
And they still support each other when shit goes down.
You know what the prosecution did today?
To do this.
That's right. You're 100%.
I mean, I know you probably date men, but listen, when women, women fucking forget shit.
You're 100% right. Women do that. I didn't hear the other homophobic shit you said, but listen.
Man, you don't know.
But again, I know. I've been married for 26 years, and you still trying to find one. How's that work out? Right away. But again. So let's move on, because you're not going to win at the insult game either. You're not going to win at the insult game either.
Buddy.
You're not. I guarantee you, if we switch bedrooms, your woman ain't coming back home either.
2 minutes.
So let's move on. The funny thing is about this Maga Reacts, at the same time she's sitting with the parents during the retrial today, which is interesting, right? And the prosecution gets up there and says all those things you're reading about. How many exhibits did the prosecution present to support their position today, Maga Reacts? You know?
Is this even a retrial or just some motions for appeal?
Yeah, but you have to support your position for a retrial. So now
let me ask you, Mike, you agree with Denkel that they will get a retrial?
Absolutely.
It's going to be
let me tell you,
a huge case. This is going to be a huge case.
Everything we're talking about right now, about the text and all of that, when the prosecution brought all of that shit up today, you know the one thing he didn't present?
What?
Any evidence to support it. Not one exhibit. Now the funny thing is,
well, you usually save that shit for trial, but go ahead.
No, you need to show it now to.
So let me ask you this way: if you get a retrial, and I'm no lawyer, so I don't fucking know, so I'm gonna plead ignorance once again. But if you get a retrial, if you were out on bond leading up to your conviction, and you get a retrial, you still stay behind bars, right?
No.
So he goes back because I guess a retrial means you haven't been officially convicted. So he goes back to being out on bond.
No.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. You want to bet Maga Reacts?
No, I just don't know, but I don't.
That's gonna piss off some motherfucking Anthony Metcalf supporters. That's gonna really piss off some folks. If they let him out, oh my God.
Absolutely. And that's why the dad and them were crying. But here's the thing: it also uncovered all of Austin and Hunter's behavior as well. The racist stuff, the Hal Smitler stuff that they were doing. You didn't bring that up, Maga Reacts. Them pushing...
Buddy, I'm going off what Tim shared.
Hold on, Maga Reacts. I know, but you didn't hear it all. Then how come you didn't remember the sharing of that where they had pushed it and hurt a female student at the school? You remember when that one cheerleader, I read you guys, the cheerleader shit?
I must have missed that one.
You remember, Tim?
No, I can't. And I will say you are way more versed on this case than I am. Way more.
Now you got other reports coming out in their history that their hands were bisexual, as Austin said, like they're not afraid to put their hands on girls. You got all this stuff coming again.
Michael, if only you were a fair person, I would love to actually hear your thoughts about this case, but you're probably just giving me the most biased side of the fucking story.
I'm giving you stuff that they don't talk about. I'm just giving you facts of the case.
All right. Well, gentlemen, for time purposes, I got to move it on. But this will probably be the most.
Sounds like you did the work.
If he ends up getting a retrial, because there's so much division in this will be the most watched case probably this year. I mean, that's going to be, or whenever it happens, it'll probably
be the most high profile case since.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna tell you,
my God.
I'm about to let you go. I'm gonna tell you this, and I want y'all to remember this, because I told you that if they get this far, this was going to happen. There were too many questions. It didn't make sense. They had video that they hadn't put out there. All of this stuff. They were trying to make sure this never happened.
What about this before I let you go? Handsome Conservative says, just my opinion, if he gets out after committing murder, he might want to watch his back. What are you going to do when a bunch of MAGA maniacs get their hands on you, brother? So that's what he's talking about. What are you
thinking? And I want you to think he's right. He's right, but I want you to think about what he's saying. What he's saying is that what they're saying is that the justice system worked the right way for him to get convicted. This is still part of the normal process that we're going through, right? Appeals.
It's just not going in the direction they wanted to go in.
Exactly. And if it goes in a direction that they don't want it to go in, just like with OJ.
Just like with the election.
Right. They were just mad at OJ got off. It wasn't OJ's fault.
Hey, for the record, I'm pro OJ.
All right. I've never heard nobody say that. I gotta go, gentlemen. Mike, thank you.
Hold on. You guys are counting your chickens before they hatch. Like
nobody's counting shit. But right now,
way before anything
well, you put it this way: you're satisfied he got 35 years, and now that's coming apart. I gotta go. We'll talk about it next time. This is obviously going to be covered many times in the future. Because King Fitz has dropped back his goofy ass. Anyway, you guys, we'll certainly end up covering this in the future, because if this ends up going, if this is they're going to have fucking police presence if this guy gets a retrial. If he gets a retrial, oh my God. Shit, people always ask me, I get this all the time. Well, you just got Trump derangement syndrome. And folks say all the time, well, once Trump is gone, you're not going to have a show. Well, shit, this right here is going to be a topic all over social media. Who knows how long if a retrial comes out of this? That's going to be a huge, huge topic. I didn't really follow it. I had a couple shows on. I didn't follow it really closely because to me, what I've seen, I had a hard time making some kind of angel out of Karmelo Anthony. And even if he didn't get a fair trial, I still have a hard time believing that he committed an act of self-defense by stabbing Austin Metcalf. I still see what he did is wrong. I don't favor the 35 years in prison because I do believe that Austin Metcalf played a part in what happened. He didn't deserve to die, but I don't believe he was. It's not like Austin Metcalf was just sitting there peacefully looking at the track and Karmelo Anthony just walked up and shanked him. It's almost like if you're doing something, let's say you're resisting arrest and the police shoot you in the head. The cop is wrong, but what you did played a part in you losing your life. That's not to say the cop don't deserve to be placed under the jail. But if you hadn't been doing what you were doing, chances are he would not have done it. And I'm saying that Austin Metcalf played a part in his demise. I do believe he played a part in his demise. So, and somebody said, look at how did that happen? I got a ton of likes, and we didn't come close to meeting any of the had mustache. So how the hell did I get so many likes? That's weird. I mean, because I ain't seen a hat mustache or a TikTok cap at all, hardly. And how did I get 119,000? Somebody was showing me some love. So thank you for tapping the screen stick. And folks who are tapping. The tapping was happening, but that was it. But yeah, I'm not saying that I believe that Austin Metcalf deserved to be stabbed. I still don't believe that. I still do not. Me and Mike disagree on that part. And me and Stick and some of the other folks disagree that Karmelo Anthony should walk. I don't believe that. I just do not believe he should get 35 years. That's where I disagree. I do believe he should get some time, though. I do believe what he did was wrong. And I do believe that he went over there and acted in a manner of somebody that knew they had a weapon and was prepared to use it if something went wrong. I think you take away the blade or the knife from Karmelo Anthony, he does not go and do what he did. He would not go over there and have sat by them. I always compare him to George Zimmerman, the guy who took the life of Trayvon Martin in Sanford, Florida. You know, he seen a guy walking through the neighborhood at night and went and chased him down in the dark because he had a gun. I also compare it to the likes of Kyle Rittenhouse. George Zimmerman, Kyle Rittenhouse, and Karmelo Anthony all did what they did because they had a weapon on them. Take away the AR-15 from Kyle Rittenhouse, he is not at that protest. Take away the firearm from George Zimmerman, he does not go after Trayvon Martin. And I believe if you take away the knife from Karmelo Anthony, he is not over there sitting next to them. Folks, they're doing what they're doing because they're armed. People having weapons make them act in manners that they would not if they didn't have a weapon. I do believe that. And I do believe that in this case, Karmelo Anthony went over there because he had a weapon. I just don't think he would have done it without it. Just like I said, George Zimmerman and Kyle Rittenhouse would not have done what they did if they weren't armed either. That's not to say that I believe Kyle Rittenhouse committed an act of self-defense. I do not believe George Zimmerman committed an act of self-defense. Everything about that case, George Zimmerman provoked. You're going to go chasing off some young man in the middle of the night with the belief that he's stealing some shit. When you catch up to him, what are you going to say to him? You're walking, let's say you're walking somewhere 9 or 10 o'clock at night and some motherfucker catches up to you and they're accusing you of being a thief. How is that conversation going to go? Of course it's going to be hostile. So to me, George Zimmerman should have been buried under the jail as well. But Kyle Rittenhouse is a different story. I do believe he had to commit an act of self-defense. I just think he acted stupid because he had access to a gun. Anyhow, police told him to fall back. Yes, on the 911 call for back. He's on recording being advised by the police to not go after Trayvon Martin and saying, well, they always get away with this shit. So he clearly was stereotyping and all kinds of shit. He should not have gotten off with that. Get some more Republicans on and less Democrats, you'll probably get more gifts. Handsome conservative, I cannot make Republicans come to the show. I give Republicans exactly what they've been bitching and complaining about from day one. Free speech with zero censorship. And they still run from the show because they don't want to hear Trump getting criticized. I'm MAGA friendly. I make it clear we let you speak with zero censorship. We're not going to kiss the guy's ass. But we're in an environment where if you're not constantly kissing Trump's ass, a lot of Republicans don't want to have a conversation. We don't do that here. We didn't kiss Biden's ass. We damn sure aren't going to kiss Trump's ass. That's not how it works. If that causes me viewers because I'm not kissing the ass of any politician, then I'm going to have less viewers. Evil B Babu says, Tim, MAGA reacts ain't shit. I got to get my soundboard up for that. He says, oh, so that they suspended the gifting on TikTok. Also, good afternoon to you, young man. Thank you. Yeah, I saw some cases they don't like you talking about. I believe this is one of them. Evil B Babu, that's for you. Thank you for your support. Hey, look, the 2020 election, COVID, vaccines, all that shit. I don't know. Maybe they've added the Karmelo Anthony case to the list of shit they censor you with. I don't know, but I did get the notice. They said they were suspending it for like 10 minutes or something like that. Anyhow, folks, I do got to run out of here for time. We will make this happen a little bit later. It's your boy Tim, the Handsome Liver. I got to step away. Thank you for tuning in. I got to go. I don't know why they be censoring so fucking much, but